All right, Stefan and Aaron back at you. Not sure where our other co-hosts are, but I'm sure they're right behind us. But once again, guys, we're just so grateful for this team, this organization. One of the things I love about this organization is how unified it is, the diversity and thought process, mindset, but at the same time, how unified we all are in the same vision for the team and the unity we have. So, Katie, Nidhi, anything you want to say before we bring up our leaders?
No, I'm just so looking forward to it. It's just a privilege to bring all of them up. And folks, these are the people we have looked up to in our lives. We have modeled our life, just taking notes from them, learning from them, looking at how they live. So you guys are all in for a treat. So are we ready, Stefan and Aaron?
You're ready. Drum roll.
Okay, let's bring up the leadership of Spartan, all diamonds, and this is the EC and the OGOs. So we are so excited to have you all over here.
Woo!
All right.
All right.
Are we live? Okay, I think we're live.
How you guys doing?
Great, Ganesh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So how was last night sessions, guys? I'm sure that we all had a fantastic sessions. People are fired up. But me and Rekha are excited for today afternoon and in the evening. But Rashmi, go ahead. Rashmi, Chetan, Vinitha.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Ganesh. Yeah, everybody I think had a fantastic. I think the chat boards were just blown off. It was just absolutely amazing. The ability to be able to raise the next layer of leaders in each organization on a Friday night, I think that's a genius idea. It was phenomenal. Hey everyone, we are Rashmi Smita speaking to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome everybody on the Saturday session. This is a power pack session with just amazing 650 growth panels with all the big leaders, and of course we have very, very special guest speakers. Mayank and Sejal Gala. We had a quick catch up with them a couple of days ago. My God, get ready, guys! It is just going to be off the hook. You're going to hear some amazing stories, the mindset, thought process of how they build the business. Parents had gone executive diamonds. They won't even come to Diamond Club, even though their business was combined, until they went themselves diamond. That is just unbelievable. Okay, so get ready for that. And here's Smita.
Wow. Yeah, we are absolutely excited. Today is going to be phenomenal. Get ready and expect to change your life and business, because it will. Today is going to be impactful, and every such function that we have come, when we came in with maybe excitement or maybe not so much excitement, but when we walked out, there was always excitement and there was always growth, because that is what we came in with, the expectation, and that's what we got. And I hope you get the same. To stay put in wherever you are doing your watch parties, make sure that you are not leaving the rooms, being there and making the most of this today. And Mayank and Sejal, guest speakers, we are so pumped to listen to them. We got a chance to quickly chat with them before this, and it's amazing the humility that they carry in spite of all the success that they have had. And the clarity of thinking just blew our minds. We're so excited that they have agreed to spend some time with us and share with us. So this is going to be a life-changing day for all of us. And over to...
Please don't have any rice on the stove on the side. Kids in front asking for lunch. Take care of all of that. 4-hour blocks. Make the best out of it. Okay. Who is next? I don't know. Whoever. Please carry on.
We can go next, guys. Hey, welcome everybody. We had an awesome Friday night. It was great to see all the growth that's happening and people that are maturing and the next level of leaders coming up. And I don't know about all of you, but I am really excited about this webinar function that we're going to have today. It's going to blow your socks off. I mean, the whole Spartans organization is primed for some growth. We already see that when we were making the agendas, we saw, and you guys are going to be really, truly blessed. But you know what you're going to get out of the function is, as Rashmi said, what you're going to expect from it and what you're going to put into it. So if this is just another thing where you are if you're at a watch party, awesome, proud of you, because you're at least building a little team dynamic there. But even if you're alone, Don't have Netflix running on the side or your kids asking you here, there, or doing some other stuff. Have a notebook, treat it like a real function. Write down your questions, write down the answers, and reflect, and let this function be the function that helps you change your business for the better and your life for the better. Okay, but we are so honored and privileged to be sharing the screen with all these folks, our upline, Rajan Sangeeta, Sajid Intisar, and the founders of Spartans, Chuck and Uma, Ganesh and Rekha, Rashmi, Smita. Of course, some are upline, downline, but a couple of these folks are cross-line to us. And the more we work with them, and the more we see their heart, the more respect we have, and the more secure we feel. And you will feel the same thing, So this is truly a united organization that's moving at a fast clip. And we know the best is yet to come, and we are counting on you. And here's Vinita.
Hi, guys. Welcome each and every one of you. We are so excited to be with you this afternoon. I know there's a lot of expectation, not only from all of the speakers who are going to be speaking today, but also our guest speakers. So expect to receive the most and then put it into practice, whatever you learn, because it's going to be an impactful weekend, this weekend for all of us. And the idea is to just make sure that everybody is equipped to take their business forward. And we're all poised for growth, and it's absolutely growth time and momentum time. So pretty cool.
With that, over to whoever wants to pick up next.
Hello, Spartan team. This is Raj and Sangeeta from Duluth, Georgia. It's a great feeling, guys. It's going to be a phenomenal event. We are so excited about hearing all these amazing, proven leaders and speakers, but very excited about the guest speaker today. Mayank and Sejal Gala. Actually, Sejal, remember Sangeeta, came to our one-bedroom apartment to see the first home plan with her dad. And amazing to see, how she has grown, and Mayank and Sejal are amazing. So we are excited about it. I highly encourage you all, when you hear all these speakers, just have that feeling that you are one of those chosen, that if you really work hard at it and fight for your dream, you can certainly be one of those to contribute to the team, guys. And we believe in you. You all can do it. Let's make it happen. Hey, Sangeeta.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you are excited as much as we are. This is a very special webinar coming at you this today and this evening. So make the best of it. Like you heard Rashmi and Smita and Chetan and Vinita already talked about the importance of being at your seats and really soaking in all the information. It's like doing a PhD, right? But this is about PhD heading towards diamondship. Hope you believe that. And we just want to, let all the Spartans and LSC leaders to know that how much hard work they have done to put this thing together, and really appreciate their leadership. So we're just so blessed to be part of this amazing organization. And I know we're going to be breaking many, many emeralds and diamonds together. But it's going to be great. So looking forward to an amazing future with all of you. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm sure you are excited about the Saturday Spartans general session. Wow, what a time we have all had yesterday. And our cup was already so full. And today is that coming together. And it's such an incredible feeling. Like everything else, this virtual conference, or any conference for that matter, or anything in life, you get what you put into it. So like everybody talked about, it's, take that seriously, have that kind of seriousness and commitment to this conference. And just because it's virtual, we don't take it lightly. So it's our honor and privilege for Uma and I to be on this stage along with Rashmi and Smita, Chetan and Vinita, Ganesh and Rekha, and our uplines, Raj and Sangeeta. It's just an incredible feeling, guys. This is a blessed organization. Uma, you want to say a quick hello? She doesn't have voice, but
I just wanted to say hello. I lost my voice, but I know it's going to be a lot of note-taking for me this weekend. But just super excited, super fired up. I know it's going to be an amazing, amazing weekend. Make the most out of it, and super pumped.
Yes, absolutely. And folks, we just want to say one quick thing. We had a chance to, like Rashmi and Smita talked about, catch up with Mayank and Sejal a few days ago. And 26 years in the business for us, 19th Diamond Club we are going to in 1.5 weeks. And I'll tell you, we came back inspired by just that chat we had. And I can't even imagine how it will be for everybody else. There is a story of overcoming to becoming in every area. Personal challenges, business, you'll hear the story and this afternoon and teaching tonight. It is going to be life-changing for you. So stay tight. And I'll tell you, we have had 3 major changes, process, this COVID and Spartans transition. In the 25 years, last 4 years has been the most impactful changing things, right? But Mayank and Sejal and all have gone through that transition, and to see how they're exploding now, that is our future, guys. Okay. So we're excited, and thank you, OGO. Thank you all the leadership. It's just amazing to be here. And with that, I want to pass it on to Ganesh and Rekha.
Hello, everyone, and a very happy new year to each one of you out there. And welcome to yet another, super exciting winter conference. So this, I think, is a great opportunity to not only get to catch the mindset of all the leaders, but also to learn and absorb more as they share their, practical life experiences. So let's make the best use of it, and do not forget to, execute all that you soak it in today.
Awesome. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you. Thank you, all the leaders here, Rashmi and Smita. So good to share the stage with you guys. Raj and Sangeeta, if not for you guys, we would not be here. Remember being in your home in Troy, Michigan, Rochester, Michigan. Chetan and Vinita, our crossline buddies from the same state. And Chuck and Uma, good to know you more and more. As we embark this journey of Spartans 10,000, there is no question about it. And what can I say? If you are IB or logging on to this, I know there are a lot of newcomers in the world of Amway, in the world of network marketing, who have actually gone platinum in COVID. They don't even know what is a offline function. Okay, they only know virtual. They started in virtual, they went platinum in virtual, and some of them probably even further than that. So if you, whatever has been given to us, we make the most out of it. Okay, that's what leadership is all about. Leadership is about not having a lid. And when somebody already programs themselves that virtual doesn't have the punch, that's a lid which has been put on himself. So you today, if you are an IBO, you just have to, absorb everything and whatever is been given to you, whether it is virtual or offline, and make the most out of it. And, see the good in it, because now you have an opportunity for people to come from all different parts of the world here. Okay, not just the country, North America, Canada, Mexico, so many different parts probably are here today witnessing this particular conference. And for a new association like what we have, what has been done is truly remarkable. And there is a mindset behind it. And probably you will get to know as you grow and flourish in this organization. What can I say about Mayank and Sejal? Like Raj mentioned, like Chetan and Vinita mentioned, they are homegrown here, especially Sejal. I remember seeing her in the BBSS and whatnot in Michigan. And today, Mayank and Sejal, at a very young age, okay, even though their parents were, their business was pretty much Mayank and Sejal's business because they're the only child, but still having that courage, having that guts to say, you know what, mom and dad, what you have done is great, good for you, but I'm going to create my own legacy and I'm going to create my own name. Okay, and go out there and do it. And even though it is there for you and given to you, you don't accept it because you want to do it yourself. And that will be very well demonstrated, because you cannot hide leaders because they reveal themselves, what kind of leader they are. And you'll probably see that the intensity, the words, the maturity of the words, the kind of story they have will absolutely demonstrate you that, you know what, it's the man in the mirror who makes things happen. So welcome to Spartans' first 2023 Winter Conference. Buckle your seatbelts. Let's go for a ride. Bye-bye. Awesome.
All right, who's ready? So Aaron and I have the privilege of bringing up these first speakers here. Like I mentioned earlier, humor primes the brain for memory and retention. So to begin this first talk, we're first going to kick things off with a proverb, since this is all about personal development. So,
give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll waste hundreds of dollars on equipment he'll only use a few times a year.
Ayo. Also, a brief shout out to the man who invented zero. Thanks for nothing. Get it? Nothing, because zero means nothing. Okay, so we have the privilege of bringing up Hitesh and Pyle. Hitesh and Pyle are great friends of ours. We love seeing them at Achievers, picking their brains. They're always hungry. They're amazing students of the business. I want to call it a specific audio in the LLC app they recorded called Resolving the Mystery of Width, right? So everything we do is about structure, right? So Hitesh and Pyle are masters of structure, bringing on width, personal momentum, group momentum, and they're going to talk about that here. So without further ado, let's bring them up. Hitesh and Pyle.
All right. How is the Spartans LLC doing? We are so excited to share with you guys today. We're Hitesh and Pyle from Atlanta, Georgia. We're coming at you live. And our uplines are our parents. They're sponsored by Rajesh and Joy Vandana Balananita and Ganesh Reka. And I'm going to have Pyle kick it off. We have just a handful of minutes, so we're going to be straight to the point, talking about momentum today.
All right. So we're going to today we're going to talk about personal, group, and mental momentum. So group momentum is your friend. You want to have the big mo on your side. So what does it look like to have group momentum? So when you see teams that have a lot of momentum, you see a lot of excitement. You see people launching right and left, just, different pockets and different legs. Everyone's just super, they have a great culture. So, and sometimes you look at that and you say, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And you start to wonder, like, what is that they have that we don't have? And you have to realize that a team that has a lot of momentum, it was a leader or a few leaders who 6, 9, 12 months back were willing to put in the required work, and they were willing to be the example and have a great attitude and put in that work to create the momentum that you see, right? So, and what does momentum look like? So when it's like swimming with the tide. When you're swimming with the tide, the speed of your swimming has nothing to do with how great of a swimmer you are. And when you don't have momentum, it's like swimming against the tide. No matter how great of a swimmer you are, you're always going to be slow, right? So momentum is nothing but just a series of steps, a series of action steps that are repeated consistently over an extended period of time. It takes work ethic and it takes time to build momentum. So if you're new in this business, it can seem a little overwhelming to build a team of 10, 15, 20, 100 people, right? But you have to understand that before the multiplication factor kicks in, you're going to be in the addition subtraction phase for a while. And when you're in the addition, excuse me, just getting over a cold. But when you're in the addition and subtraction phase, you have to make sure you don't drop the ball on your mental and personal momentum. So personal momentum always precedes group momentum. Speed of the group is always determined by the speed of the leader. Mm-hmm. So how do you develop personal momentum? Well, before you can develop personal momentum, you have to develop mental momentum. And what does that look like? Having mental momentum is having defined goals, right? It's knowing what you want out of this business with a deadline set to it. And also having clarity of purpose, having single-mindedness, right? A lot of people have big dreams and goals, but they sometimes doubt that this business can be the vehicle to get to their dreams and goals. So then they dabble in other things. They look at things on Instagram, social media, and they try to do all these different things, and they try to do too much and they're not focused in the business. So you have to have single-mindedness of focus, and you have to know that no matter what, like you can accomplish all your dreams, goals, and aspirations through this opportunity, right? And yeah, and if you have been in the business for a while and you've gotten jaded, you have to reset, refresh, and renew yourself. You have to act new, because the newest people in the business are always the most excited. So what does personal momentum look like? It's basically, like I said, consistent work ethic that you're putting in over an extended period of time, but it has to be enough work ethic. So what does enough work ethic look like, right? Well, it depends, but for us in our team, we always teach 1 contact a day, 10 personal meet and greets a month, right? It's if you're just massaging every day, that's okay. If you're just warming up, that's okay. But know that that's not going to get you to all your goals in this business. That's not going to get you to the momentum you're looking for. It's like working out 5 minutes at the gym. If you work out 5 minutes at the gym, how long is it going to take you to get to your ideal health goals versus working out 1 hour at the gym? So when you make that 1 to 2 contacts a day, that is like working out an hour at the gym versus just getting 1 masala and saying that you did a good job, patting yourself on the back, right? So you got to be realistic with yourself. Are you putting in the action that's required to get to your goals? A lot of people, they drop the ball when it comes to either their work ethic or they don't put in enough time. So then there's some people who don't put in a lot of work ethic, but they've been in the business for a while. And then there's people who do put in a lot of work ethic, but then they keep starting and stopping. And when you keep starting and stopping, you can never build momentum. You sabotage your progress when you're starting and stopping. So you have to stop analyzing your work, scrutinizing yourself. And this is where marrying the work ethic comes in, marrying the work ethic and divorcing the results. This is where it really comes into play. Also, not having 2 bad days in a row, right? And sticking to professionals, stick to schedules. Amateurs get distracted by the urgencies of life. There's a quote that I posted recently on my LLC news feed, and it said that use your weekends to build a life that you want rather than escaping from the life that you have. So you don't treat this business like your job. You build a momentum Monday to Friday, and then on weekends, if you rest, then you drop that flow of momentum. So you just got to be consistent. You have to be the best example in your work ethic and your attitude. You have to ask yourself, would you want 12 legs just like you? A lot of people try to build this business, but they don't want to set the right example. So you have to be the right example, right? And you have to be someone who's predictable, someone who's reliable. Can your upline count on you? Focus on being a phase CIBO. John Maxwell, there's a great book, 5 Levels of Leadership. I think it's called No Limits. I'm not sure. But he talks about being a level 3 leader in this business when it's a producing leader. You want to get to a point where you have 6 legs as fast as possible. If you don't have 6 legs and you're listening into this call, that needs to be your #1 battle cry. If you have 2 legs, 3 legs, that's great, but you're not tapping into your leadership potential till you get to 6 legs. When you get to 6 legs, you can go 3-6 because you're going to have a few working legs. And then you also help those legs get to 3-6, right? And then, you may have to add some more legs. And if you want to go 6-15, which is the goal, you want to have maybe 9 legs, because when you have 9 legs, maybe you're going to have 4 to 6 growing legs, right? So that is kind of like, how you build that personal momentum so that eventually you can have good momentum. So with that, I want to pass it on to Hitesh.
All right, that was fire. Great job, Kyle. So great job, honey. So, all right. So Kyle talked a lot about cultivating momentum, culture, how to harness it. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to lose momentum. So this is equally as important as gaining momentum, because what causes the loss of momentum? And if you can understand this, look, at some point in your business, you are going to lose momentum. It's just, what are you going to do at that point? So there's 3 camps here. First group of people are people that are new. It's your first function. You're excited, you're inspired, you're motivated, you're pumped, you're jacked. You believe that this is what you've been looking for your whole life. Now, really take heed to this talk. We have very few, just a short amount of time, but if you understand what we share here today, you can continue to grow for a long period of time, or you may hit a lull and you may lose momentum and you may not feel the way you feel today a few months from now. The second group is going to be people that came in with a lot of momentum. You came in roaring. Your business is rocking right now. If that's you, great, fantastic. Keep up the good work. And then there's a third group, and this group, you may not have momentum today, right? Let's take the worst case scenario. Maybe you've been in for a decade or longer and you don't have any momentum. It's stale. People are not excited. You're not excited. You're just begrudgingly here. Well, hey, congratulations. At least you logged on. There's some people that are not logged on that could have easily logged on, and you could be anywhere. You don't have to be in person, and the people still didn't log on. So the fact that you're here, that shows a lot. So good job. Now, it's not a magic trick. It's not something that's so outrageous or outlandish. No, it's just basic. It's your perspective. All right. So a lot of people lose momentum. It's because they're focused too much on the output. They're focused too much on the result. They're not focused on the input. So you have to shift. And this is something that it's not just specific to you. You're not the only person that does this. Everybody has to retrain the way they think when they get started in the business, which makes absolutely no sense. As I explain further, you're going to see, okay, this is ridiculous why we do this as human beings. We all do this though. So even we do this. Okay, so you can't control your output. You can only control your input, right? For example, can you convince somebody to get started in a business? Can you make somebody get launched in your business? Can you make somebody go platinum? If you convince somebody they're going to change their mind the next day? That's not our business. So the only thing, you cannot control the results. You can only control the input. Okay, so if you focus on results, whether you get a positive result or a negative result, you can end up losing momentum with both scenarios. Why? Because it's like a factory, right? Think of a Tesla factory, the input where they're putting in all the raw material to make the cars, or Fruit Loops, right? They make boxes of cereal. So you can't look at it and say, oh my gosh, look at my giant mountain of Fruit Loop boxes that I've created. No, you have to look back at your input. What are you putting in on the input? As soon as the input stops, the results on the back end are going to start, whether they're good or bad. Now you have to put in a lot of input eventually for the results to come. So obviously, if you do 10, 15 meet and greets, you don't launch somebody, and you stop your input, you're going to be disheartened, discouraged. You're going to say, oh my gosh, is this for me? Can I do it? I don't know if this is for me. Oh my gosh. Like, you're going to say that. I'm going to go to your upline. I feel discouraged. I feel defeated. I feel demotivated. I feel dejected. All the D words. Okay. That's what you're going to start doing. Okay. If you launch a couple of people and you don't have any more input, you're not doing any more meet and greets. Well, what's going to happen to you then? You could launch your two best friends. Man, you're fired up. You get together. You're talking about going diamond, man. We're going to be diamonds one day. We're pumped. We're jacked. We're excited. Month one goes by. You're pumped. Month two goes by. You're jacked. You're so pumped. You're talking about going diamond. Your third month goes by. You're still, slowly the excitement starts to wear off. And you're like, what happened to all of our momentum? Well, you stop launching people. The launching of people is what's going to create the momentum in your business. But you can't focus on the results. You can't focus on the output. You have to focus on the input. If you stay focused on the input, the output will come. All right. I'll give you a very easy example that you can connect with: your job. When you show up at your job every single day for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years of your life, when you show up every single day, are you looking for a result? No, you don't walk up to your boss and say, oh my gosh, boss, I've been working here so long, so many days. Where's my results? Have you ever done that? I guarantee you haven't done that. As a matter of fact, you're all excited. You're happy, clapping. It's the weekend. And guess what? You're going to go back to work next week. You're going to work all week, and then you're going to go get a weekend. Oh, I'm excited. It's weekend again. And we do that month in, month out, year after year after year after year, without an expectation of some sort of result at the end. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that what you have to do is you have to treat this like you treat your job. When you go to your job, you have a certain number of tasks that you have for the day. oh, I have to email this person to work on this project, work on this, send this out. I have to do all these different things. Okay, great. So you look at it as a task that you have to get done. When you complete a project at work, do you say, that's it, I'm done. I get paid on this project for the rest of my life. I can just play golf all day. No, you have to keep going to work. There's more work to be done because your time is equal to money. You have to keep trading your time for money. So you will go to work and you do all these different tasks. So what you have to do is to take the same mindset and put it here. I know it's tough to do. I know it's hard to do, but this is the secret. This is what you have to do. This is how the people that build the biggest businesses, this is how you become financially free. This is how you become wealthy in the Amway business. This is how you do it. So you make it a very small task. What is the task of our business? Your reading and listening should be like brushing your teeth. It shouldn't be like, oh, did I brush today? No, it should be like brushing your teeth. That should be done. And then what you have to focus on is sharing your story once every day, doing a 90-day challenge, doing a 90-day cool run. If you could share your story every single day for the next 10 years, could you be financially free? Yes. Now don't say, oh, all I have to do is share my story once a day for 10 years, I'll be financially free. No, that's like showing up at the gym for 10 years. You could show up at the gym for 10 years and you could look worse than you did when you first got started at the gym, okay? You could be at your job for 10 years and be in the same job. There are people at your job probably that are older than you that could make less money than you or have the same job as you and you're much younger than them. Has that ever happened to you? That's happened to me. That's happened to me. It can happen at any job. So it's not about the time that you've been in the business. It's what you actually do when you show up. What do you do when you show up at your job? What do you do when you show up at the gym? So it's what you do here. It's are you diligently doing the task? So last thing, to put it all together, what you need to focus on is focus on your input. Stop focusing on your output. If you don't have momentum today, you can get momentum in 30 days. You could change your business in 30 days by doing a 90-day challenge. Start focusing on sharing your story once a day, every single day for the next 30 days, and you will rock it. We're so proud of you guys. Let's grow to 10,000 people. We are committing to 1,000 of that. We are getting it done. We're getting Emerald and Diamond done. We're making it happen. Count on us. Spartans LLC, back to our amazing host.
Wow.
Oh my God, that was fire right there from Atlanta, Georgia. Man, I'm sure everyone is jacked up and excited. They are ready to move forward. Thank you, Hitesh and Payal, for a wonderful talk and so many amazing tips, man. They are moving on a fast track. We're so excited for that.
Excited for that, for sure.
And guys, next up, it's such a privilege for us. Actually, our co-hosts were supposed to bring them up, but I texted them and said, no, I will bring them up because they are good friends of ours. They're dear friends of ours. We just get to meet them during these events, during these functions. But we are so grateful to actually bring up the next speakers. You ready?
Yes, and they are
Brandon and Amanda
Woods.
They are emeralds. They are smoking this thing. They have the structure. They have everything in place. And we heard just this morning, we were listening to a podcast and they were talking about moving on to diamonds. So we're so excited for the next speakers coming up. So help us bring up next speakers, Brandon and Amanda Wood. Okay,
they'll be coming up in a minute. They need a round of applause.
They need another round of applause. They said they're going to be ready, but only when you guys are ready. So looks like they can hear you, even if you're sitting in your living rooms. They can somewhere listen. There they are. There they are. Hey, Brandon. Hello, Amanda.
Hey, Kitty.
Over to you.
Over to you guys. We are so excited to hear from you both.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey guys, Brandon Amanda Wood coming at you from Tampa, Florida. Super excited to share with the team here and part of the Jyoti Prakash EDC ship. We have an incredible line of sponsorship, as we know that you all do as well. And we hope that you guys are already learning some things. Hitesh and Payal knocked it out of the park. And we're excited to talk to you about culture. I heard Larry Winters once say that there's two things that are really critical to growing a large team, and it's culture and it's environment. Mm-hmm. Now, environment you can't control. Okay, environment is the LLC community, which is on fire right now. People are growing all across the community, but culture is something that we can control. So me and Amanda are going to touch on this today, and we're going to talk about how this starts even when you're first sitting with somebody at that very first meet and greet, or even when you're making that very first contact, that initial conversation, how all that plays into the culture that you create in your team.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's important to understand is that culture is a way of life. We talk a lot about this, but you cannot live dual lives, right? Like everything that you do needs to be intertwined. And I think that's an important thing to understand. You can't expect something from a business environment if you're not sowing it in your life. And so that's a piece that we'll talk about. Brandon and I have been fortunate enough to play athletics at a high level. We were both two-sport collegiate athletes. We've been part of winning teams. We've been part of teams that are not so winning.
Needed some improvement.
Yeah, we needed improvements. And so we'll talk a little bit about just some of the contributions behind there and how it actually applies to this space as well.
Yeah, and I think first and foremost is it's the standards that you're setting, right? What are you expecting in your organization? And what standard are you setting for yourself? Even if you're brand new and you're just getting started, what type of blueprint do you want to become for the organization that you develop and that your upline coach and mentor helps you develop? You see, in the process, how you're preparing somebody to get started as a business owner with you, how you're preparing that person is going to really determine where their mind is at when you start to work with them and how easily you'll be able to guide them along. So make sure that you're in lockstep with your coach or mentor on how you're communicating through that process so that you're setting that standard, you're setting that stage from the very, very beginning. A lot of times people think, well, when I have a team, then I'm going to start to create that culture. Culture starts with you. Culture starts day one as soon as you're launching into a partnership by the standards in the example that you're setting. And I love something that I heard Anthony Sparks say, where he talked about how in your first 90 days, if you do your first 90 days well, you can talk about that for the rest of your time in business. You can talk about, hey, my first 90 days, this is what I did. This is what I focused in on. This is what I locked into. And you can use that over and over and over again for the lifetime of your business. So that applies to in your first 90 days. But even if you've been around for a while, maybe you haven't grown the way that you want to grow, you can always talk about that story about how you flipped it. Right? Hey, I made a decision at that winter conference. In the next 90 days, that completely turned it around. But here's another piece that's going to be important with that is you need to be able to have open and honest communication. Open and honest communication, both upline with your coach and mentor and open and honest communication within your organization as well. If you don't have that, if you're not transparent in how you're communicating with your coach and mentor, they're never going to be able to help you make these adjustments that you need to make. Most people, they work hard to earn mentorship. And then when they need mentorship the most, they start to shrink back. And I'm going to encourage you not to do that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that we've pulled out of, whether it's been this environment or whether being part of athletic teams, is that if we were always self-discovering and that we were communicating that self-discovery to our coach, then they can more effectively communicate to us. One thing we talk about is that if you tell us a lie, we mentor a lie. So if you're not transparent with where you're at, then we can't be transparent in our communication. And one of the things that Brandon and I always intended to do was to always be very real with people in terms of, our evolution over the last 15 and a half years. And in turn, hoping that others are transparent with us as well. And we feel that from a community standpoint, there's so many resources to help people be able to slot those different areas that they can grow. I think the illusion is that you need to correct all those things before growing a large organization, and that's absolutely untrue. One of the things that we talk about is that growth comes through serving other people, and that's going to be your biggest evolution. And that's with anything in a team environment. The other thing is gratitude and praise. This is a huge piece of a good culture, being grateful for the things that you have, being grateful for the people around you, understanding that there's always going to be the human element, and naturally people aren't going to be perfect. You can't expect that from individuals. You can't expect them to be perfect, but also understanding that you got here on a thin thread, and being grateful for those people in your life that are willing to serve you. Praise is huge. And I'm going to have Brandon speak to this a little bit, but praise in our environment is just part of what we do, but it's also about doing that in the right regard as well.
Yeah. How do you recognize people? How do you praise people? And I'll say this first and foremost, what are the things that your coach and mentor are talking about, right? What are they edifying? Right? Because it starts with also plugging into that culture that you see, and unity trumps everything. Okay. This is one thing that we learned from Rashmi and Smita. Even if techniques may be different or whatever, being unified always is going to produce a greater result. Even if you don't always agree on everything and things like that, but just choosing to stay unified regardless. But then what are they talking about? What are they edifying? What are they promoting? How are they recognizing people? Right. So making sure that you're in lockstep with that. And the way that you recognize people is this. Okay. We recognize people for, hitting a pin or changing phases, things like that one time. but you recognize results over and over and over again, right? So if somebody is consistently creating great results, well, then you can continually recognize that person instead of always saying, oh, well, this person hit this pin level 6 years ago, right? You're not going to keep recognizing that over and over again. And so what that does is that creates this beautiful vacuum where it allows people to step into that next level, and it encourages that growth. You want to have a culture where winning is a standard. I want you to imagine getting recruited for, a major university, like let's say Alabama football. When you go in and you see Coach Nick Saban, right, and you're getting recruited for Alabama football, what do you think you're going to observe there? You're going to observe two things. You're going to observe, number one, there's a very high standard at this place, right? There's an expectation for how we're going to perform. And then number two, that this is a place where we win. This is where I can win championships. This is where I can win a Heisman Trophy. I can go to the NFL. Right? So those two things go hand in hand with each other. So what type of standard, what type of culture, what are you recognizing in your organization? And what do you want, if it's just you right now, what do you want it to look like as you start to build a team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing that's really important is just mutual respect. We talk a lot about how we believe that people are equal, right? People are created equal, but you can create an unequal value in the market. So like, for instance, when we got accessibility to Rashmi and Smita, we knew they had created unequal value to us in a market. They had achieved results that we were looking to achieve. So we needed to be proactive in that relationship and not expect them to come to us. And we also have to understand return on time investment. So if we weren't going to take our coaches or mentors' time seriously, and we weren't going to follow through on the coaching and advice that we have been given, then we can't then expect in return that they're going to continue to invest time into us, because that's not a good investment for them. So it's important to understand that piece. It's the same in any environment. If a coach needs to tell their player, their athlete, to do the same thing over and over and over again, eventually they're just going to go elsewhere with their time or go elsewhere with their players, because it doesn't make sense. There's also something that's super important, and that's clarity. Clarity is a huge part of having a great team dynamic, because in confusion, there's always stagnation. In this environment, there should not be confusion. If you're confused what the next move looks like for you or how to do something, then it's a result of two things. One is that you're just plain old not communicating enough, because there shouldn't be confusion on what to do next. And the other piece is that you're probably actually not taking an active role in the environment, in the culture, because again, everything's laid out there for you. So the only thing that creates confusion is just our own thought process and our lack of connection to our coach or mentor.
Mm-hmm. I know we've been talking about the 4 C's. You want to touch on that?
Yeah. So if you read any sort of book on team dynamic or leadership, there's sort of these 4 C's that you see throughout literature or podcasts or whatever you listen to. And I want to touch on these because these are so critical in growing your culture. The first one is competence. Competence is so important. It's mastering your craft. It's understanding how to build that skill set in layers, right? So what does this mean? At first, it might mean being an observer, but eventually it needs to be a doer, and then eventually getting results, right? And so you've all heard the concept of 10,000 hours of mastery, right? So it takes 10,000 hours of a skill set to start to create mastery within that. So that means it's through consistency that you always grow competence. So competence is key. The second is commitment. Now, that doesn't always mean that you need to agree with everything. You can sometimes agree to disagree, but there's certain things that are in place for a greater good of a team. Like there's certain things that Rashmi and Smita see that maybe Brandon and I don't see at this point. So we choose to commit to the culture. We choose to commit to the LLC environment because we know from a broader perspective that the individuals that are leading the way in terms of really creating the dynamics are have our best interests in mind. And so it's staying committed to that. It's actually being an active participant. It's trying to grow my leadership in that environment. The third is contribution. And this always goes hands in hand. You've heard a lot, culture and contribution. Yep. You can have a great culture, but if you don't have contribution, eventually it just becomes kind of like socialization, right? So there has to be contribution. Somebody at any point in time can step up and say, it's me. I'm the person that's going to grow. I'm going to be the catalyst for change. I'm going to be the catalyst for growth. It takes one person or one couple, one decision to totally change the dynamics of things. You see this all the time. You look at an NFL football team. You have a quarterback that steps in, great leadership skills, can totally revolutionize the culture of an environment, right? Or do the adverse as well. Yep. And the fourth is character. I alluded to it earlier, saying that culture is a way of life, right? So what does this mean? In everything that you do, having a high level of character and always be working at how can I get better every day? How can I emulate the person that I am in every aspect of my life, so I actually start to attract not only people that I am, but also the character that I am, and also have strong standards, right? I'm sorry, but our culture is weak. They're totally weak. They need strong people. Yep. They need leadership. And so if we can be that for ourselves and our own household, we're going to start to attract other strong people as well.
Yeah, I think if you're listening to this right now, you have a heart for people. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a heart for people, and you didn't, love people. You didn't want to have an impact on people, right? So I think that we should recognize that should be a default setting, right? That shouldn't be like, oh, we want to have a culture where everybody loves one another. Well, I think that should be a default. So I think the next piece is what's lacking from teams that maybe aren't growing as fast as in regards to building their network, breaking pins, things like that, versus another team. And usually it's action, right? So a lot of times people get in their heads and they think, well, maybe I'm just not good enough to hit XYZ level in business, or I'm not there yet. I need to develop some more. Here's the reality of it. Okay. If you take action and you start to put yourself out there, you stretch your comfort zone and you work towards just building your business, growing your network, growing your volume, the two things that are going to pay you money, right? You work at that, you will automatically develop as a person in the process of that, because you will not get to a platinum, emerald, and diamond level without serving people, without stretching yourself, without growing in the process. Mm-hmm. So you're automatically going to do it. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be intentional with the reading and the listening and all of these different pieces. Okay, this is obviously very important, and it accelerates your personal development, but stop thinking that you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. You are good enough the way that you are. You just need to take the action to get there. And when you take the action, you create a culture that is predicated on action. And then all of a sudden, you're actually creating that impact that you've been talking about.
And also refine your skill set. Mm-hmm. You're always refining your skill set. We're still refining our skill set.
Yeah. So I want everybody to write this down. I've been saying this to our team. I want everybody to write this down. Okay. And this should be something that you speak going into 2023. And it is, I will become the strongest IBO possible this year. I will become the strongest IBO possible this year. And I want you to say that. I want you to put it up, write it on your mirror. I don't care, but make sure that is in front of you and that you're intentional about doing that. And the way that you become the strongest IBO possible, number one, is by taking action, getting out there, and actually doing the things that you say that you're going to do. Okay. So we love you guys. We hope this helped. We know this weekend is going to be extremely impactful if you let it and you take this energy that's being poured into you and you go and you put it to work for you. So we're going to turn it back over to our host. We love you guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, everybody, repeat after me. I will become the strongest possible IBO this year.
I will become the strongest IBO possible this year.
Period.
That's it, period. That was awesome. I loved what the Woods talked about communication, communicating what you're learning through self-discovery. Your coaches can only coach you based on where they know you're at. So your coach isn't going to coach a platinum in their team the same way they coach someone new. So you have to be able to communicate those things so they know how and where to coach you.
Awesome. I hope you also took great notes on the 4 C's of culture: competence, commitment, contribution, and character. Incredible. So back where we started, who's ready for a couple more dad jokes?
Well, Aaron, I was going to tell a poop joke, but I don't know if that'd be very classy, and they really aren't my favorite kind of joke.
Yeah, but they are a solid number 2.
Hey-oh. You know what I'm also not a big fan of? Bullfighting. As soon as I saw the Matador's cape, it was a big red flag. All right, so moving on from there. So we're going to turn it over to our growth panel. You know why it's called a growth panel? It's because everybody on here has grown and is growing, has a lot of momentum. You heard Hitesh Pyle speak earlier. Brand Amanda Wood. There's going to be a lot of power-packed information on this call. And so, or this panel. So, but to host this panel, we have the honor of bringing up Ravi and Arti Chawla. So Ravi and Arti, let's bring them up. All right.
Are you going to spotlight me first? Awesome. Hello, Spartans LLC. So excited to see all of you guys, wherever you're logging in from. Arti and I are excited right now to bring on to you the cream of the Spartan LLC leadership. Okay, you are in for a treat. For the next half an hour, 35, 40 minutes, wherever you're logging in from, tune in, because these are some heavy hitters and they're going to come at you straight, come at you brief. So make sure you tune in and you listen fast, because you're going to miss it in a blink if you're relaxing. Okay, so but here's Arti.
Absolutely. This was my best part of the function always. And I love to see the growth that people have accomplished through this business. And I love to hear from them, because that's what I want to duplicate. And that's what I want to learn, so that I can go back and start implementing what they're teaching about. So I'm absolutely excited about this entire panel. So
awesome. Let's kick it off. You know what? We have 4 different categories, guys. Okay, and I'm going to introduce those categories, and these have been, they have been qualified based on all the criteria that has been, filtered through the Spartans LLC app. So the first criteria we have is IBOs who have a 650 plus structure, okay, which means they have 6 partner honoring leg or more, and 50 plus subscriptions in the system or more, and have had 25% or more growth since the last function. So this is some serious stuff coming at you. How many of you would like to have 25? But guess what? We have some people who've almost had 50% growth. And after this, you cannot say that the business is not growing, because the only variable is you. So to kick it off, we're going to invite a young couple out of the hot Atlanta to share up. Please help me invite Mitesh and Sonali. They've had almost 28% of growth since last function, of course, along with the 650 structure to go with. So over to you, Mitesh and Sonali.
Thank you so much, Ravi and Arti. Hey guys, we are Mitesh and Sonali from Atlanta, like Ravi and Arti just said. Our uplines are Hitesh and Pyle, and we're just pumped, guys, to have the momentum that we have. Thankfully, we have some incredible examples in our upline. So Hitesh and Pyle have a massive organization, and we're just kind of following suit. So, the biggest thing for us was just being an example for our team. We had a great example in our upline, but it's also us now being that example for the team that's coming behind us. So what does that mean? Like for Sonali and I, we started to focus more on where was our time going, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of time stealers out there. There's a lot of money stealers out there. Yeah. And where your time and money is going is you have to kind of audit that. And so for Sonali and I, like one of the things that I started to do was check my screen time. And it's a little scary if you take a look at it sometimes, because you'll see some apps on there that you had no idea you spent days on. And so I started to kind of cut back and say, man, I need to plug into the system. I need to get my screen time of my LLC app like to the top. That's going to be my number one app. And so this is me. You don't have to do this, but I said, I want to go hardcore to the core. And I uninstalled my Instagram. I uninstalled my Facebook because I was kidding myself. Yeah, I'm social media contacting now. If you are, keep going. But if you're not, check your screen time. And does it reflect in your calendar, right? Does your meeting recount reflect in your calendar? And so for Sonali and I, that's the biggest thing, was just kind of trimming the fat and what was taking our time and focusing on the business, right? And investing into ourselves.
Yeah, especially being retired. So we actually have a background in real estate. I used to be in software sales. And now that we're both free, we realize that we have a ton of time, but we want to make sure that our time is productive and we're not wasting it. You always want to remember you're either investing your time, spending your time, or wasting your time. So we realized that we had to be very, very intentional about it. And like Mitesh said, we got rid of all of our distractions and really understood that we had to create a culture of work ethic for our team. And that's what we did. And we're just super excited for the growth that's happening in our organization, and just making sure that every single day we're making sure that we're making an impact on someone. So that's why we're super intentional about our time. So you guys can do it, and we're just super excited for all the growth.
Yeah, we just hit 100 IBOs on our team. We have 110 IBOs on our team. So we're super pumped to make 2023 our year. But yeah, that's all we had to share. And back over to you, Ravi Narthi. Thank you so much.
Awesome. What a talk, guys. You know, what is leadership? Leadership is spelled as EXAMPLE. And they talked about it. You know, everybody wants to have an amazing future. But wherever, we always say that wherever your time and money goes, that's where your future goes. Yeah. So thank you, Mitesh.
Congratulations. I love the fact that you talked about the culture and the time stealers. Those are the two things I think every person should be actually taking a look out for.
Awesome. Next up, we have an amazing couple who is going to come at you from Midwest. I'm going to invite at this point Mason and Ali. From what I hear, they just had a new baby and they still manage growth in business and in life. Okay, so over to Mason.
Hey, thanks, Ravi. Wow, I am so excited about today. What an event it's been. We are absolutely pumped. This is Mason, Ali, Eddie coming at you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we are sponsored by our upline Emeralds, Eddie and Cassie Kutnick, and have a background. I currently work in IT project management. My wife formerly worked in HR, left her career 2 years ago in preparation to have a baby. This was before we had one, and it was preparing. So it's been a dream of ours to be full-time parents and part-time entrepreneurs, and we're closing in on that as a function of this environment. It's been an incredible journey. You're going to hear from our uplines, Eddie and Cassie. You're going to hear from our downlines, Michael and Kelsey. So when you're sandwiched between those two couples, it's pretty hard not to have growth. You get like an Oreo. You just get squeezed to grow. And so we're so grateful for that. We've learned from both. I think sometimes people think you learn everything from your upline, but you learn a lot from your downline if you're willing to submit to the system and watch the people that are growing. And I think, coming from the last conference to this conference, we truly, truly can say, I don't care if it's virtual or in person or if you're at a watch party, conferences are the game changer. It's been our journey. We've never missed an event. We've been at this for a while. And we got so excited and energized. We were like new partners coming out of that last conference. And we simply did something that all of you are capable of doing that we've messed up dozens of times. We committed to 90 days of focus. That was it. And we got rid of the excuses. We went back to our A/B list. We went back to getting out there, making a connection every single day. And we got after it. And then in the process of doing that, we created enough activity that we had things to get mentorship and coaching on. And we humbled ourselves. We've been qualified platinums for many years. And we humbled ourselves and we said, hey, it's time for us to get some coaching in our lives. And we learned from people who are creating results. And we started to make some changes there. So we've never been more energized. Yes, we had a baby in the process, but for us, that's part of our dream. That fulfills our dream. And so it was just in alignment. And what's fascinating to me is when life is when there's not a lot going on in life, it's actually amazing how much less we tend to get done. But when life tends to get busy or things start to happen, if you know your priorities, you actually get more done. And there's some science and some theories behind that. So we are pumped. Yeah, we've had incredible growth. We have over 31 partners plugging into this conference. And we are pumped to double those numbers and just be the biggest part of the Kutnik Emerald Going Diamond ship and the Klickner legacy. So back to you, Robbie.
Wow, what a talk, man. I can see you're already a night owl, okay? But thank you, Mason. That's a big nugget, guys. Big decisions are made at big conferences. And, when life hits you, that's when your priorities are revealed, right? Always say that when you squeeze a lemon juice comes out, okay? When life squeezes you, what comes out? Your character. And, talk about, and we've all been victim of it. Don't beat yourself to that you have to be perfect, but commit to that 90-day code, right? Because anything that of a meaningful substance, sowing and reaping, you always gonna reap 90 days or 6 months later of the efforts that you're putting. So thank you, Mason. That was a great share. Next up, and by the way, Mason and Ali have close to 40% growth, so that's tremendous from last function. But here you go.
Absolutely. Moving along, we're going to be actually hearing from a couple who has a 40% growth level happening in their business. They are Anand and Pushpa from Dallas, Texas. So please help me welcome.
Anand and Pushpa. Woo!
Ravi and Aarti. And hello, team. We are Anand and Pushpa, and our incredible uplines are Founders Emeralds Going Diamonds, Vidya and Rama Tadipamula. And we are part of EDC's Check and Umakakani's organization. Absolutely excited about the growth, buzz, and momentum in the team. And every one of them are focused in the team to get the job done and have the intent to accomplish their goals and dreams. And absolutely the compounding effect of actions are more and more evident, and we'll see 100% growth, doubling every month.
Absolutely excited about buzz and momentum. And to talk about our growth, last conference to this conference, we grew 43% in LLC's numbers and subscriptions, and we're absolutely excited about joining Elite EC Club in next couple of months. And one of our organization outside of our Emerald ship, Animation Suprita, they are new Q12s in qualification. They'll be finishing their platinum next month. And our fifth organization, all the way from Australia, about to start their qualification. And we just returned from Australia. We're about to go again in next few days and excited about that. And our sixth organization at 18%. And excited about our Diamond Ship coming up next fiscal year. Absolutely will be new diamond joining the Diamond Ship Club. And of course, we'll be part of that, cruise leadership trip.
Absolutely. We are on track to qualify for 2024 leadership cruise.
And all this happening, because, we're just following few fundamentals all along. And one of the thing is when we started this program, we heard that don't chase two rabbits because you catch neither. So we are chasing this rabbit and we are getting the job done.
And one recommendation is you don't duplicate what you want, but you can duplicate who you are.
Remember, right duplication only duplicates 50%. Wrong duplication, duplicates 200%. That's what, Vidya Rama said very early to us, they are our uplines, and we see all the time they do the right duplication. And thanks to their example, we never dare to do a wrong example. We just following our uplines, and we consistently, in fact, me and Pushpa, both of us, we show the plan. We want to get the job done, and, she does her own cross appointments, I do mine, and now the real duplication happening in the team. So many leaders are doing the same thing. That's why we see the growth, and can't wait to join EC Club. With that, we are done. Ravi, back to you.
Awesome! Wow, what a share, guys. You cannot accomplish greatness by being double-minded. You have to have that single-mindedness of purpose. And what a great share. Thank you, Anand and Pushpa. Congratulations for all the growth, and excited to see you guys join the EC Club. That's awesome. Next up, we're gonna go back to Midwest. Okay, it looks like we are oscillating between South and Midwest. Okay, Texas and Midwest. We're gonna invite Michael and Kelsey. Okay, guys, just to let you know, we've seen this couple just, take it to the next gear. And they've, one of the fastest growing businesses. They've had almost 50% growth from last conference to this conference. So anybody that says you cannot double it, they are proving them wrong. So listen carefully. Please help me invite Michael and Kelsey.
Thank you so much. What an amazing day. We're learning so much ourselves, but we are Michael and Kelsey Beaupre out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're part of the Klickner Diamond Ship. By background, I worked as a physician assistant in orthopedic surgery, actually stepped away about a year and a half ago due to the success in our business, which was amazing. And Michael's background is as a senior vice president at a bank. We were just reflecting on what were some things that really shifted for us as new partners. And we were really frustrated in our first couple years as new partners because we found ourselves thinking about our business a lot, but not taking a lot of action. So we felt like we were putting in a ton of time, but it was actually just here. It wasn't actually doing work towards our business. And so we realized, well, one, we had to start taking action, but two, we also had to shift up the prioritization for our business into one of our top 5 priorities. When it was priority number 17, it was never going to replace a professional income. So we had to prioritize our business at a higher level. And that was as new partners. And then even today, I think when you're thinking about where do you prioritize your time, I always think the vital activities. What are the actual things that you can do to grow your business? Obviously growing yourself, but the most important things is going to be growing your network, right? Investing into your own personal network, developing partnerships, investing into the partnerships that you have, and growing customer volume. And I was able to step out of working, like I said, about a year and a half ago, but we were like, pedal has to stay down. We had a baby about a year ago. And I love being fully present with her all day, giving her my whole heart and soul. Obviously, once she's in bed, the show's on, but I actually pay to have a babysitter come every single week, and I only work on personal activity at that time. There's a reason that we continue to have personal momentum is because we choose to. And I would say if you give yourself a whole day to do an activity, or hey, you're like, I want to work on my business tonight. You come home from work and now you give yourself like 4 hours to network. It's going to take you 4 hours to network. But what if you give yourself an hour? And I say, okay, I'm going to pay a babysitter for this amount of time, and it is game on during that amount of time. We actually extended 2 personal offers this week, so we'll have 14 legs in the system by the end of the week.
Last thing I'll add, guys, is you have to make the decision. This is what we changed, to have a winning attitude. And that spread throughout our team. We stopped playing to like not lose. Like, ooh, is the candidate going to fall out? Are we going to extend the offer or not? Or is this partner going to quit? And we decided to win. And it was a conscious decision every day. And our team started to feel that. So new partners started to win. They started to launch people. People are building their businesses 10 times faster than we did because we expected. And that winning attitude's in our team. You can absolutely count on us getting the Emerald qualification next year. We took our first leg over in November. We'll take another one over in a couple months here, and we're making it happen. So Ravi and Archie, back to you guys.
Wow, that's awesome. 14 partnering legs, guys. They are getting the 14th leg in the system, okay? And that's amazing. And what a message. Play to win, okay? Not play not to lose. I love what Kelsey mentioned, that that's what you got to do. You got to invest in people, invest in yourself, and you got to grow your revenue and grow your network. Keep things simple. And when you keep things simple and you keep and give importance to things that really matter and really count, guess what? The growth has no choice. And thank you guys for that share. So proud of you guys. That's awesome. Can't wait to see you move on to Emeralds and up. And now we have to invite their Emerald uplines. Right?
Yeah, going forward, we're going to be staying in Midwest, and we're going to be inviting a couple, Eddie and Cassie,
yeah.
From Midwest, and they have already had a 40% growth into their business. So we would love to hear what
they've been doing.
Yeah, what they've been doing.
Awesome. Over to Eddie and Cassie, the doctor couple.
Yeah, Eddie and Cassie here, coming at you from Chicago, Illinois. We both actually studied to become eye doctors. Eddie still practices. I had the privilege just over a year ago to step away from my profession and be a full-time entrepreneur. And similar to Michael and Kelsey, we have a 1-year-old daughter at home.
And we're excited, you guys. We've had some great growth, and
a lot of that growth is a result of Mason and Allie and Michael and Kelsey, and just being in business with them. We feel so blessed to have them as running buddies. We had 94 people at the last conference, and we have over 150 people attending this conference. So we've had, like Ravi and Arti had said, about 40% growth. That's both in our width and our depth. And for us, it's all just about keeping it simple. Like Ravi said, keep it simple. Our mantra has been 2 candidates at the board plan per week. That's what we teach. So how many meet and greets does that take? I don't know. How many process appointments does that take every single month? I don't know. What it takes is whatever it takes. We found that for our organization, when candidates are at the board plan, that transitions to growth in the organization. So we focused on what is the limiting factor. That is the candidates at the board plan. What we've been teaching, what we are focused on, what we're banging our chest on is 2 candidates at the board plan per week.
And I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and they were just talking about how if you think about something for more than 5 seconds, our brain automatically starts complicating it. You think about standing on the edge of a diving board, you think about it for more than 5 seconds, suddenly all your fears creep in. You guys, there's been so many times I've overthought why I was or was not having growth in our business. And I just overthought the fundamentals. To be pretty frank, a lot of times for me, at least personally, if I wasn't having the activity as people at personals at board plans as I wanted, many times it wasn't dedicating enough time networking. Well, when I wasn't dedicating enough time networking, I also probably did not have intentionality around self-growth. It is very difficult. It is extremely difficult to listen to a podcast from the LLC app every single day, to read every day and not get out there and prioritize time to chase after your dream and goal. So I think don't overthink it. Keep it simple. Keep the fundamentals. Make sure you have that self-development habit and you're prioritizing networking. Back over to you guys.
Wow, that was fire, because I think just like Eddie was mentioning, me and Ravi also felt the same way. We felt that every board meeting we had to have 2 candidates, and that's simple how it was. And overthinking always gives you trouble. So
Yeah.
I like what she mentioned, that stop overthinking and start putting the activities, and using the LLC app for your self-development is the amazing tool to kind of have a growth into your business.
Yeah, and if you're listening and reading and learning and not putting into action, anything will become boring.
Yeah.
I mean, you will not enjoy it. You will not engage at a higher level. But when you start doing action, man, you love those podcasts. You'll fall in love with them. Okay, and that is what it is. And I can see why Mason was talking about the Oreo cookie example, because his upline has a 1-year-old, down has a 1-year-old. He said, "God darn it, we can't stay behind. Let's have a baby." Okay, no. Yeah, but they're growing in business and in life together. What a blessing, guys, to be running buddies and growing in life, and your kids growing together. That's awesome. Look at the what this platform stands for. Thank you, Eddie and Cassie. Truly appreciate you sharing a lot of value. But next up, we have some heavy hitters, okay? This is a goal for everybody. Okay, why? You always want to build from position of abundance and position of strength, and that is what double legal represents. So we're gonna have, I believe they're in Atlanta, okay, and they will introduce themselves. But we're gonna have Katie and Nidhi. They're double eagles, moving on in a big way. And share, what's happening in their business and their organization. So over to Katie and Nidhi.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ravi and Arti. And we didn't want to be left behind. So we have a 1-year-old as well at home. So we're fired up and we're excited. We are Katie and Nidhi. We are in Cumming, Georgia, and we are super excited. What a day this has been. And, we had to make a decision for ourselves. We said either we can wait for the people to grow, or we can actually give them an example that they can follow. So we said we're going to learn how to put a WIT together, put new batch of people together. Matter of fact, even last year, we had few people fall out in the WIT. So we said we're going to put another batch of 3 and 4 together so that, we can continue to work with people who really want to be worked with. And as the time is shifting, we are back from COVID to no COVID, which means travel has opened up. We have been blessed with the business all across. So past 6 weeks, I think I've been flying 4 weeks I've been out. Next weekend again, I'm out. Actually, this as we wrap up, Sunday, I'll be out again in Chicago. So we'll love to just go out, serve the team, multiply the numbers. And our focus is to be part of that EC get to 150 subscription. I think we're hovering around 75, 80 right now. So we said we're going to double up the numbers in the next few months. Why not?
Oh, absolutely. It is happening. And, the team is going to see what you do, not what you say. Some of the words in English language is good intention, like they're useless. Good intention. What do I do with it? It has to translate into the work. Good intentions are fine, but then we need to put that good intentions into the good amount of work so that we can get to the good results. So that's what we did. We had the dreams and goals in front of us, and we say, okay, what do we need to do to get that? Okay, here is the work we need to do, and then let's go get it and do it.
Yeah, and just because we had people to work with on the side, we have new 3.6s, we have new 3.6 in tracking, and we have new 6.15. So if we didn't have the width, we'll be still waiting for people to move on, and that becomes a challenge too, for sure. So our message is just go out in the width and find the right people to work with.
Wow, well, that's awesome. Thank you, Katie. So just a question, since you mentioned, so even after you go double eagle, sometimes people lose a dream and they quit. Is that true?
Yeah.
It happens to all of us.
Happens to all of us, I feel.
Yeah. You've had some people quit on you, and did that?
They didn't quit on us, Ravi. I think they quit on themselves. So we said we'll keep going. We are always. I loved what Pankaj said once. He says, "KD, I'm always in your corner till the time you're fighting. If you drop dead, then I'll just take my bucket, go somewhere else." It's an analogy from boxing. So we said
that's awesome.
We're
That's
always
awesome.
in the corner. Yep.
Yeah, and that is so true, guys. Sometimes you in some of you guys going out of this event, you're gonna put some action, and every time you put some action, you're gonna face some resistance, and that's part of the growth. You need that resistance. You need some people to challenge you. I read in a book or a podcast. What makes you a skilled pilot is turbulence. What makes you a good sailor is challenging winds, not calm seas. Okay, calm seas have never created skilled sailors. And then what makes you an effective leader is how do you handle that resistance? How do you get bounce back? How do you not let somebody else disappoint you, discourage you from chasing what you want to accomplish? That's the nature of it's like I always tell people, the moment you decide to be, somebody says, the moment you decide to become a dentist, you can't say no to spit and saliva. It comes along with it. Okay, you can't say just give me your teeth. And that is what you got to remember that. And even though double eagle, they know how to build businesses, they know how to help people. But when people give up on themselves, that's not your problem. You can't let that affect your mindset and your attitude. And you got to go aggressive. When somebody gives up on you, you replace them with two. Okay, you got to challenge yourself. So thank you, Katie and Nidhi. What a phenomenal, being double eagle, losing, but putting back on the width. That's what it takes. Okay. But thank you. We're going to have a special couple of folks. Okay. So what is executive committee? Executive committee, the qualifications are you have to be an emerald or above and having 150 subscriptions or more. And you become part of a group of people because you have substantial numbers. So you are a voice in the decision-making process for the Spartans. Okay, you give your inputs in the conference. You give inputs in various topics on how to make this system more effective for the newest person. And how can you do that? Because you have that community that you've built. You've earned your stripes, and we have two couples. Okay, as a matter of fact, I can see them on that cruise. There's some of you watched that video. There's a leadership cruise, Ritz-Carlton. That's on March 2024. If you're emerald in qualification and you have 20% or more growth and 150 subs or more, you will be on that cruise with us. Okay, of course, we all pay our way, but you're going to be the inner circle of the Spartans LLC leadership. And we have two very special couples who are like a stone throw away from becoming the new LLC, new EC members, okay, new executive committee members. And these leaders have already built their brand, and we know that they'll be a tremendous value addition as they join the executive committee. So we would like to just invite them up, and maybe we can spotlight both of them and hear from them, okay, what they've been doing and the growth that they've been having. So please help me invite Vidya and Rama from Dallas and Satish and Shushma from Houston, Texas.
Okay, thank you, Ravi and Arati. Thank you for this opportunity. We are Vidya and Rama, and we are from Dallas, Texas.
We both work in, we both are IT professionals, and our incredible uplines and mentors are EDCs Chakanuma Kakani. We're very excited about the growth happening all across and all over the globe.
All right. So go ahead and talk.
Okay, great. Yeah, we are in this panel because we are experiencing supernatural growth all across, all over the globe. Our India business is thriving, our Australia business is cooking, and of course, US business is absolutely rocking. Of course, we had some pruning during the pandemic. I think Katie and Nidhi said, somebody quit on them and their own dreams. It doesn't matter. So we found some more who wants to be committed to their own dreams, and we are on track to be on the cruise along with Anand and Pushpa and one more couple. So we are absolutely excited about the growth happening all across. And this year we're going to be very intentional and purposeful in everything that we do, in each and every activity that we do, and that's the commitment we took in 2023. And our goal is to be on that executive committee, and that's our immediate goal. We're going to make it happen. We're going to accomplish that by end of January, and that's what we're working on. We're very intentional and purposeful in doing that, and then, of course, moving on to Diamond and beyond. We're very, very proud of Anand and Pushpa for creating so much growth and creating so much momentum all across. And we're very excited about the growth all across. Then back to you.
All right, a couple of quick things. What we did to move on and have the growth is we learned, to have the right priorities in our life. And one of the things that we learned is budgeting our time. Right. So we all know the budgeting of money, but budgeting of time, something we learned by watching the screen time like a hawk all the time to see where our time is going. And, having a dominant thought of being in the executive committee and being new diamonds and being on the FED stage, hands being raised by our upline EDCs, we just cannot wait to get the job done. And as Rama mentioned, we will be on that cruise, the leadership cruise, along with 2 of our personal legs and about 5 partners in our organization. There's no question about it. We're super excited about it. And with that, we'll pass it to Satish and Sushma.
Oh, that's awesome, Vidya and Rama. I'd love to keep listening to you guys. We're very grateful to God that we are blessed with people like you, Anand and Pushpa, as in part of our organization, part of Chakanuma's team. But folks, we are Satish and Sushma. We are from Houston, Texas. Sushma has a background in medicine, and she used to own her own hospital once upon a time. And I have a background in engineering and currently work as a chief engineer for a large engineering group at NASA's Johnson Space Center. But years ago is when we built this business asset. We are founders emeralds in the United States. We are a couple of years ago, we focused in India, and we became founders emeralds in India. And we just came back from a nice vacation to New Zealand. We were brand new platinums in Australia last year. So we've been building our business globally. And we have several hundreds of people on this particular conference from North America right here in our team. And we got multiple diamond legs and emerald legs. But this is not about us, it's about you. And one of the questions that we were thinking about is, if we were brand new, if we were just getting started all over again, what would we do differently? What would we do, if we had the opportunity to hit the reset button so that we would get even better? So for that, I'd like to bring up my wife and business partner and life partner, Sushma. Sushma, if you could share.
I just want to insist one thing that is quite important for me. If I were to start all over again as a new partner, I would like to take my 30-day co-run very seriously, write down my story and practice my story, practice and practice until you become perfect. My story, so it rolls smoothly off my tongue. And it is a new trade that you are starting. So learn to be an expert practitioner as soon as possible. Learn all the skills that you need.
So, when Sushma says you got to be an expert practitioner, because understand that when you transition to the 90-day co-run, and you got to have that conversation every day. You got to talk to people. You got to sound intelligent. If you're not an expert practitioner, people are not going to listen to you. So it's going to take homework. I remember making my story, recording it, playing, and then refining it, playing again, checking with my coaches and mentors. We're grateful to Chetan and Meeta Rastogi that coached and mentors us. We have launched by Sridhar and Soumya. And in the early days, we were mentored by Sajid and Intisar for their applying diamonds and Rajan Sangeeta Shah for applying crowns. However, I'm going to say 3 words here. Learn to be audacious. Okay. The very fact that we're all here in this conference means that we had an audacious dream. We chose to be different from everybody else. Today, with thousands of people being laid off in the tech sector and other places, people are all nervous because they put all their eggs in one basket. What did we all do? We had an audacious dream. We wanted to sign our Declaration of Independence. When we became independent business owners, we signed that declaration because of our audacity. And remember that when you are dropping the message to somebody, you are communicating to them that you are grateful for being coached by people, by mentors that had an audacious dream, and you are learning how to build it. Now, don't go and say audacious to a prospective business owner. You would lose them, but this is just to communicate to you. So audacity is where it starts. Okay, got to get bold. Okay, you can't be apologetic. If you're apologetic when you're having your conversation, you'll be focused on techniques and worried about, oh my God, what if they ask me if it is Amway or it is this or that. But if you're audacious, then you would be able to actually go and talk about their dream and explore their future desired state, where they want to go. Okay. And then, the second word is tenacity. You got to be tenaciously hold on to that future desired state of yours. And if you do that, then you end up having, the third word is you're going to have a bodacious business. When I look at our upline mentors, they've got a wonderful team. And that's what we did. We got focused with intensity. So we went Founders Emerald in the United States, then Founders Emerald in India, went Platinum in Australia. We built it globally. The sun doesn't set in our empire. But we, at the same time, our goal is the North American business is where the money really is. And that's where we focus. And we're blessed with a large team with hundreds of people in this conference call. Can't wait to hang out with everybody on that cruise. I was looking at that video, and man, that's really awesome. Okay. And we can't wait to hang out with people from our team and from our coaches and mentors and our crossline buddies. And thank you, Ravi and Aarti, for giving us an opportunity to share. Back to you.
Awesome. Wow. What a talk, by both upcoming EC, members. And we can't wait for them to join the executive committee. And so true, guys. You know what? Being an entrepreneur in today's day is a privilege. And everything you do, every time you have to do a co-run or go to a workshop or go out and speak with somebody, you gotta treat it like a privilege. You can't treat it like a sacrifice. You can't be like having this, oh my God, I have to put this extra effort. No, you're building your company. You're building your company. And the person that you're talking to, they got nothing to offer to you, and you have everything to give to them. And if you walk into that, you live your days like that, people are going to get attracted to who you are because they see where you're going. Because the candidate or anybody outside does not know what your pin level is. They don't know what is PV. They don't know what is double eagle. They don't know 650, but they see who you are and where you're going. And that's what attracts them. So you're going to carry that. I'm sure this was wonderful. And to wrap up this panel, okay, this is amazing. To final thoughts, to put a bow tie on this whole wonderful panel. Thank you to all the panelists. We have two special couples. They are executive committee members. And I've seen these two couples work tirelessly, whether it's putting their thoughts together, they're doing the legwork, arranging, coordinating among different teams, from the back end to the different organizations, the leadership, but they've done it with a smile. And that is why they have the business that they have. And so we're going to have the 2 executive committee members, to come up and share a couple of thoughts on, what they've been doing in the new year, 2023, and how they are preparing for the massive growth. So please help me invite Bala, Nita, and Rajesh and Ritu from Texas.
Awesome. Thanks, Ravi and Aarti. It was incredible panel, listening to all the panelists. Oh my God, I think they've covered everything that we would ever want to say to you all. But definitely, it's certainly a privilege to be on this panel. We don't take it lightly. Ritu and I are very excited about it. Besides everything that you heard so far, only thing that I'm going to add to that here is excitement cannot be quantified. Okay, that is one thing that we have in our team is every one of our people, we have the number of IBOs who are actually doing the process appointments, the number of process appointments per IBO has actually grown since the fall forum that we've had. And the result of that is the leading indicator. The result of that is, of course, we've got launches and all the other stuff coming up in North America. And I love the part that our leaders are leading from the front. You heard all the leaders on the call today. Same thing is happening in our organizations where people are leading from the front. They're creating personal momentum. And that's why we have a massive group momentum. It's impending group momentum. Okay. In North America, we personally, both of us have tremendous personal momentum ourselves. We've got people going through process in multiple markets. So let's talk about that. The part of the growth that we just experienced, and you heard from some of the other leaders, there's a lot of growth happening in our business. Just recently talking to one of our emeralds, we are blessed with a large organization in India. We've got a few diamonds and lots of emeralds and founder emeralds. One of the emeralds organization, part of the organization, in a recent team meeting, now the pandemic is gone, they had 600 plus people just at the team meeting. And that's only one small part. And they have broken already 4 that I know of, people who have been founder platinum qualification. And this is just one corner of an organization. We got other places with the growth happening too, but UK, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere, we certainly see a surge of momentum kicking in. So Ritu, how about you? When we were brand new, what would you do if you were to go back in time?
Thank you, Rajesh. I tell you, this has been an incredible panel. Thank you, Ravi and Aarti. And it has been awesome listening to all of you. It's a new year, right? How many of you feel that excitement of newness? Mm-hmm. And we all are together and hearing, listening to all the growth. But, thinking back, what would I do as a new IPO? The number one thing, if you want to build a large, sustainable business, is to learn to invest in yourself, add value to yourself. You heard from many of the people, the LLC app, the reading and the listening should be a habit. It's a non-negotiable, because I think, I don't remember, but one of the leaders did say that if you are listening and reading, that will spur you on into action. And that is the next thing I would do, that I would not just think, I would act, start doing the activities. It may be a simple thing, learning how to drop the message, but whatever it is, get into the action mode. And the third thing, I think, which is the most important, build a very honest and transparent relationship with your upline coach. Have an incredible communication channel so that nothing holds you back. They have the experience, just, you want to draw on that. So that's what I would do. And I would encourage all the new people, keep it simple, just grow yourself and start doing the work, and growth will be just a byproduct. If you can stay steady and consistent with this, you'll have an unbelievable business, no doubt about that.
I'm just going to add to that, don't live and die with every outcome, learn from every outcome. That's just, getting no's from people is just part of the whole process. Learn from that, start huddling with your coach more regularly, get their perspective on what you could do to improve, and then learn to do self-reflection, and you will certainly have a growing business. That's what we wanted to share. We're going to pass it on to our good friends, Bala Melukode, to go ahead and share his perspective.
Thank you so much, Raj and Titu. Very excited. And again, wow, very excited about Ravi and Aarti. Man, amazing show, right? And one thing I'll tell you is, we just saw all the leaders. As Ravi started with, leaders, now example. You're all examples for the team, okay? What we want you to do is very simple. We want you to keep the same growth happening in your team. It's going to be the best of the best. I'm so excited about a couple of people from my team just want to talk about. Of course, we have here Mutesh and Sonali, have more than 27% of growth. Amazing. And they belong to a team of Hitesh Payal. And guess what? They have 12 legs with 148 people subscription. Almost 2 more to go to 150. Amazing. Okay, wonderful thing that with. We also have a couple of other teams which are going emeralds pretty soon, and one of them is already emerald, and just waiting for the numbers. We'll catch up. Okay, and of course in Australia we have a couple of members right there, and of course all around the world. Now, one thing I love about this is I am 100% in connection with my mentors. Anita and I are 100% with Ganesh and Rekha. No matter what, no matter when, 100% relation. When I send a message, within a couple of seconds, there's a reply back. I'm like, wow, how does he do it? Right? That's amazing. It's like unbelievable. And that is what we got. And also, so excited about the cruise. I think it's Ritz-Carlton cruise is going to be the best. So much of videos already sent. Make sure you've seen the video this came just before this. Amazing. You're going to enjoy it big time. Only thing that takes is, have 150 as subscriptions and be at least an emerald qualification. You can do that. Okay. Of course, we are having a brand new, easy qualification coming in. We have Satish and Shushma ready, and also we have Vidya and Rama, Pamela, man, amazing. All of you can join. See, all we need is growth, and all of you have growth. All you do is just crank up a little bit more, focus on the numbers, and you can get it done. Thank you so much, and back to you, Ravinati.
All right, this is amazing, guys. That's almost a wrap. I just want you to, if you're listening to this panel, walking out of here, you see these people, you see them as polished products, you see them where they are, but you got to remember that they've had their own journey. They've been chiseled through the process. And whenever we walked away from them, these panels and these functions, we just went with a lot of belief. We just wanted to know that if we stay the path, be true north, and focus on what these guys suggested, there is no way that we will not be on these panels. And I challenge you, starting from each one of you, to make sure you lock in those 6 legs. In fact, lock in those 9 legs. That's your personal activity. And get in alignment with your coach and get those 50 subscriptions so you have a strong, stable business. And then we can't wait to listen to your growth story. And we can't wait to hear from you on what all you've been doing. But Aarti, are you excited about the guest speaker?
We are ready to rock and roll.
And you're excited about the guest speaker in the afternoon?
Yes.
Guys, buckle up, okay? Focus on your next goal as if it's diamond, and get ready, because right after this panel, there's some amazing leaders who are going to be talking. And of course, we are excited. We have our pens and paper and iPads ready, and we are ready to take notes, listening to Mayank and Sejal Gala. So with that, that's the wrap. Signing off. Thank you to everybody. This has been great. Take care.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh my God. You know what, gang? I was in that panel with them and I was getting the shivers. I was like, man, I got to get that 50% growth and grow much faster and whatnot. So I hope you guys are feeling the heat a little bit. And that's what these events are designed for. And what are you doing with an umbrella over here?
I'm just getting ready for our next speaker, because when they talk, it's going to be the rainfall of wisdom.
Oh my God, gang, get ready. They say when Ganesh and Rekha, they speak, even the IVOs who have given up on their dreams and who didn't log in, they get a flutter in their heart because they know they could have been doing better with their life. So it's a privilege for us. It's going to be pouring wisdom today. We are so excited to bring them up. They are OGOs and they are founders of Dream Team Leadership. And it's such a privilege for us to bring them up. So buckle up, get ready. I'm sure you took a lot of notes from panel, but this is going to be the best so far. So get ready and help us welcome from Michigan, Ganesh and Rekha Shenoy.
Great. Thank you, Katie and Nidhi. It was awesome. That is quite an hosting, actually. We are excited about all the stuff which you guys are doing as a host, Thank you. But what a growth panel, Rekha. Absolutely. It was awesome. As a matter of fact, we are energized listening to all the leaders who are growing the business. That is kudos to all these leaders who have done so well. And I know if you're watching this conference, somewhere inside of you might be feeling, man, I need to get there. And that's a good feeling. And we all have been there. Okay. But anyways, it is always exciting to talk in these events because I understand there are so many IBOs who need to hear what is being said, because all that is going to build you up as a leader. And me and Rekha love this part of it. As a matter of fact, I would like to talk to all the IBOs who are whose PV check is less than $500, right? That's a good way to dissect it, because $500 below $500, you're still a fragile IBO. Okay, you're still not immunized, and best form of entrepreneurship is a business which makes money. And of course, 500 is not a big amount, but it's a sizable amount that it keeps you humble, it keeps you excited, and keeps you growing. So any IBO who's less than that, it doesn't matter how many months you're in the business, how many weeks you're in the business, or how many years you have in the business. Different IBOs take different pace, and it's perfectly fine. Nobody's here to judge anybody. Nobody's here to say the race is over. The race is over when you cross the finish line, and it is very forgiving business. But if you can do it earlier, why not, right? If you can do it sooner, why not? And that's why we do what we do. That's why we say what we say. I want to take some time out and zoom out and make you feel secured about where you're planted is the right place you are, and why so. Okay, because sometimes there are a lot of forces through internet, through negativity, because they say, right, modern day robber doesn't come through the front door. Modern day robber doesn't take your wallet. He takes your will to fight. He takes your courage to fight. And that is the robbery which you should be more concerned about, not the alarm on the house. It's the alarm which you have to put in your mind and your heart. And like they say, from 25 to 65, which is 4 decades, if you can dissect it anyways. You can say that I have 40 years to go, okay, and I have a long time, and I can take my pace. But believe me, that 4 decades will pass so fast, okay? And that's a decade. Those 4 decades are the ones you make it. And I know a lot of you watching probably are younger, and probably you are in your early years of your life. And that's golden. That is fantastic. Why? Because you have so much to accomplish and so much to do. And there might be some IBOs here in this room where probably you're feeling a little, okay, I'm in my 40s and 50s. Do I still have a shot at it? My question is that if you're in 40s and 50s, and if you're not happy with what you're doing, what other opportunities do you have shot? Can you start a McDonald's corporation? I mean, a franchise? Can you do something else? Probably not. Okay. This is your game. This is your shot. All right. and quit having all the negative thoughts occupy your mind so much that there is no room for positive thoughts to dwell. So that is something which you want to keep in mind. Now, if you're in your 50s and 60s and you're doing flourishing in your career and life, that's great. Now you found a home where you can peacefully chase Q12, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald without any stress. All right. And that's how we see it. Now, some of you are young. I know that there are a lot of landmines along the way. Like they say, right? Mouse dies in the mouse trap because it doesn't know why the cheese is free. Okay. And, anybody can commit when Bitcoin is $20,000. But can you commit when Bitcoin is $65,000, $70,000? Okay. And probably 2023, everybody is humble. 2021 and 22, everybody's last name was Buffett. But right now, everybody is humble. I understand that. But market is going to pick up and market is going to do better. Is your mind always fluctuating with the market, or is your mind grounded? Single-minded focus. I think some leader spoke in the growth panel, single-minded focus. Are you able to do that? Okay, that is something which you, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as an IBO, you should be very secured about. Now, some of you probably wondering, man, what are my chances of succeeding? Let me tell you. Person dying out of an accident in a car is 1 out of 5,000. Okay, 1 out of 5,000. Person dying in an aeroplane crash is 1 out of 11 million. Person dying, I think, bitten by a bee or a wasp or a hornet is 1 out of 57,000. All right. I don't care what the statistics is. How many, 1 out of 300 might go platinum. Okay, I don't care what the statistics is, but odds are in your side. Look at it. Just because 1 out of 5,000 die out of a car crash, will you now stop driving your car? Does it even occur in your mind? Because even the probability are quite high, right? 1 out of 5,000 is quite high. Okay, but will that, every time you start the ignition, do you think about it? Why do IBOs think about their chances of survival, chances of succeeding every time they go through a landmine? Why? That is, for me, I don't know how to relate to that, first of all, because I've never been like that. Single-minded focus means single-minded focus. There is nothing else going on, period. Okay, because see, probability of success is you make it. Because when you sign the dotted line, whether it is Rashmi and Smita, whether it is Chuck and Oma, whether it is Chetan and Vinita, Raj and Sangeeta, when they all sign the dotted line, including you, probability of all of us going platinum was 0. Do you know that? Everybody's probability of going platinum or going emerald is 0. Now we build up that percentage through our commitment. It's not the statistics outside, it's the statistics inside of you. You build yourself up. That is how you raise it. So all these variables which leaders have spoken about, okay, reading, listening, because you see, in the army, or when you are recruitment for an army or a air force, there is a level playing field. When they recruit, they test you and they filter you out. When you're attending a school, they test you for a GPA, what kind of things you have done, projects you have done, they test you and you filter out. Of course, in our business, we also filter out, no question, the process is a filtering out process. But however, it is not that stringent like outside world. So when people come in, we come with different kinds of baggage. Just like when you go to the airport, somebody has a 3 check-in baggage, somebody has 1 check-in baggage, somebody's traveling like no baggage at all. He's just walking like he's walking in a school. So that's how people are. And people take differently. So now for all of us to come together and come on a common ground, we have to be built up differently. And that's why we emphasize on reading, listening program. And that is where it happens. That is where we build ourselves up. And that's a product. We are a product of that. And that's why Amway is an equal opportunity to be unequal and build what you want to build and have a meaningful end result and have a life which you want to live. What kind of life you want to live? I said myself, I was in my school where I got started, like many other leaders. I was 24 and I told myself, I don't mind putting in my next decade and if need be in the next 2 decades. And I'm not going to question, I'm going to do whatever it takes and much more. Okay. So there was no looking back. So it was very easy for me to launch myself every single day, even though there was no launch in my business, because I felt secure in the business opportunity. I never questioned the house which I was born in. Okay, I never questioned why was I born in this family and why not that family. Same way, I never questioned why I was born in the Amway line of business opportunity. It was what it was. Now it was my goal to do it. So, as a new IBO, less than $500 PV check, you'll be tested on a daily basis. Okay, in this area, and I hope that you win it. It's not about launching other IBOs; it's about launching yourself. Now, in this area, we talk about this at home all the time, right? Me and Rekha talk about it because we can see in our own team, there are so many IBOs who can do so well and they're not at the fullest potential. And we also know why it is. It's a man in the mirror. And probably Rekha has a lot of things to share. Please, Rekha, go ahead. You can, I know you'll do a good job there, so yeah.
Yes, so like Ganesh was talking, like when we start something, we have to, put some deposits into it. So, in this opportunity, what I have observed is like you yourself is the biggest investment. Like you have to invest in yourself. It pays the best interest actually. So it's like, before you become a leader, how does it happen? Like you are, your success is in growing yourself. You are working on yourself on daily basis. And when you become a leader, then it's like, your success is, you are growing others. You are growing other leaders to become better leaders. So, yeah. And one more thing we got to remember is that the day we lose to invest in ourselves is the day, when we will stop growing. So I think we should not fall into that category and we should all try to, do well there. So what kind of investment? Of course, in this opportunity, when we talk, money is involved for sure. Like you say, capital, right? So a little bit of capital is needed. But more than that, the more, we are, knowing it, it's actually the person in the mirror. It's actually you who is the best investment. See, you have to put in all your energy, your focus, your knowledge, wisdom, your common sense. Everything is needed to, put it in together to, make it happen. So we also need to understand that we need to learn to learn so many different things because maybe it's very new. We haven't done so many things that we have been doing earlier, but which are not needed now, and we need to learn something more. So all your work ethic, your consistency, patience, perseverance, as we grow this business, we need to keep on learning, and we need to keep on, giving our best. That is what is our investment is. Now, one more thing that, you anyways have to have that fire to fight within you to do whatever it takes. It's say you have you wanted to become an entrepreneur, and without taking any risk or without going through any hardships or without going through making some sacrifices, you cannot expect to get the results what you want. And we understand that it's all not going to happen in a day. Like, it's not that I have said everything and today you have signed the document and tomorrow you're an IPO. No, it is a process. It's a slow process, but with your consistency, with your willpower, with your determination, every day, if you make it count, it will add on, and it will really flourish you as a great leader. So that's all, maybe all the investments that I talked about. But there are, so every investment has to have we have to have some returns on it. So what are the returns? The foremost thing I have heard since I have joined Ganesh is that everybody talks about financial freedom. So that is the like in the core, but along with that, so many things come, and that I really want to talk about. So financial, you are financially free now, but you have bought your time back for your kids, for your family, and in most of the places, when your family really needs, they are in dire situation and they need you, you are really physically able to go there and serve them. And
economically too.
Yes, of course, economically also. So it buys back your time, and you see, time is not for all this. You have gotten a full time to bulldoze your business, to take it to another level, because now you can plan your days well. You can really focus on what is really needed to be done on a daily basis, and then move from there. And one more thing that is very interesting that I think of is, you are not only you're able to expand your dreams. Actually, you can add on to your bucket list. Maybe earlier you wanted cash down payment house of 2 bedrooms, but maybe now you are thinking of, maybe you're able to having 4 bedrooms in your house. So and along with that, you are also able to think add on to newer dreams. So it's so nice to get all that along with. And of course, overall the magic is in you. The more we polish us, the more we keep on chiseling us, it's the results are going to be shown in the time to come. Along with all this, we always need to remember that it is our road and only ours. So here is a system where you have uplines, you have downlines, but the thing is that they can walk along with us, but they cannot walk it for us. They will never be able to do that. So on daily basis, we need to ask ourselves, are we ourselves taking those initiatives to discipline ourselves, to do all the core run and whatever you have planned? You got to discipline yourself. And one more thing, that are you doing all those things which are taking you near your goals, or are you doing all those things which you really do not need to do? So you got to find out what you need to take off from your schedule and what is exactly needed to be done. And one more thing, like before being accountable to others, let's fix some accountability to ourselves also. Yes. That is the best way to move forward. That way we can make our day more productive, and we can really feel happy about it, that even if nobody has asked me, even if nobody is watching me, but I did the right thing today. And like Ganesh talked about, and I really believe in it, single-minded focus is that what is needed. So we don't want that, we are saying that we're single-minded focus, but at the back of your mind, or you're whispering in your ears, maybe there's some better opportunity, maybe I'm not fit for this, maybe I'm not able to do this, maybe it won't work for me. All those voices, you need to really shut down. You really need to stop them. Yes. So that is when you are single-minded focused. And so is your why, because of which you started this, Is it getting stronger day by day, or you are losing your dream, on the way? So, and that one thing is also important, that are you backing it up all with the work ethic that is needed? See, we cannot just talk and we can think that, oh, the things will happen one day. So it's not going to happen that way. We have to work, back it with our work ethic also. And life will happen. There's no single one I can think of. And we all know that there's a person who hasn't gone through life. Everybody, even the ones who have gone crown here, or even maybe the one who had just started a few months or so, everybody has to go through life. So all the hardships and all the sacrifices, we need to learn. There has to come a point where we need to learn to enjoy, learn to accept that this is the opportunity when I'm going to do better, when I'm going to become better. And it has taught me a lesson that is really going to help me in the life for lifelong. And we say it is freedom, but no freedom has ever come for free. So we should be ready to pay for the price. But maybe for 5 years, maybe for a decade, it's not a big deal at all, actually, to think of. When you think like, you are in your 20s, when you are a student, or maybe, even if you are in middle age, we are in our middle age, but, we think, oh, another 40 years. So it's never too late to build it like like you're on spot all the time. And one thing in our household also, like Ganesh has always, whenever we talk, he always tells me that, Rekha, the day he signed the documents, from that very day till today, he never ever had a doubt or fear in his mind regarding whether it will work or not. He just saw financial freedom, buy back his time, all those things, and he understood it, and he never looked back. So it was always in his mind. He was very clear. Of course, like he mentioned, that it took him maybe 6 years to this opportunity to go from mind to heart. That was okay, but still he figured it out. There was never a moment when he thought of, or maybe it won't work. So that is, when, that kind of unshakable faith he had in this opportunity. And here we are. Just think about if he were to quit at that time, we wouldn't be here. So that's what, I wanted to share about him.
Are you excited about the home which we are going to build?
Yes, absolutely.
That's another talk by itself, right? We don't have time right now because we want to hear Mayank and Sejal.
Yes.
But you did amazing talk, Rekha. Why am I here actually? You did such an amazing talk. Yeah, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay. What can I say? Rekha said it all. Oh my gosh, what a talk. I am impressed. I hear her all the time, but listening to her in front of all of you guys so confidently, a woman of strength, that's exactly what she is. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, we always battle. What is this business all about? Is it a science? Is it art? Amway business is neither a science nor an art. It's a practice. Okay. It's a practice. You cannot do great things overnight. You got to be good at doing small things great. Okay. In a great way. Wherever you're planted, do small things in a great way. Right now, you're probably watching this webinar. Okay. Do it in a great way. Your notes, not just the notes, you consume, your mind, everything. Wherever you're planted, do it. Because finally, we do not have control over our life, but we have control over our day. What does a good year consist of? Enough number of good days. What does a bad year consist of? Too many number of days which you are not committed to it. So we all wanted to have a good life, but we were disciplined to have good days in those years. That's a mark of leadership. low management. Okay, you don't need external management. What is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is a person who's a disciplined. Nobody else needs to discipline him. That's why he becomes an entrepreneur. Now, some of you might be battling with a choice. Let me tell you, any decision which you make, okay, most decision, I'm not going to say any decision, most decision what people make are emotional. And eventually they back that decision through logic. I'll give you an example. Let's say you bought a car. You may not have needed a car. All right, but it was emotional decision. Man, this current car is having 70,000 miles. I will buy a new car. It could have run 120,000 miles too, probably, but you changed it. It was an emotional decision. For some reason, you felt that you were too tired of that car and you changed it. Then once you make the decision, then you back it up by logic. Same way, IBOs who get started, no matter how much study you do about network marketing, it was an emotional decision. You got to understand that. For us, getting started was an emotional decision, and it's so for you too. Then you back it up with logic, why you got started and why it was the right thing to do. And going platinum is no different from that. Even going platinum is a decision within the Amway business. And once you do that, then you back it up with logic. No different from when you got launched. Also keep in mind that people fading away from Amway is also an emotional decision. It is not a logical decision. They somehow get tired of it. Oh, 25 people said no. My cousin, who's I used to look up to him. He's a doctor, and he sent me a boatload of negative about business. And you know what? It's not going to work. And you are faded away. It is emotional. Then once you fade away, probably you back it up with logic. On a Friday night hangout outside of our business, when people get together on a potato chips and beer and stuff like that, you back it up. Yeah, once upon a time I was out. And that is how you justify. So you got to understand, everybody does that. It's an emotional decision. All right. So don't make a mountain out of this. All right. Everybody does it. All right. Everybody chances when you start a business, you try. And when you're trying, your probability is 0. You try enough number of times, it becomes a habit. It consumes you. You're not just now body is in it, your heart is in it. Okay, like they ask a high jumper, how did he jump so high? I just let my heart jump over. The body just followed. Our business is no different here. Now, are there challenges? Absolutely, yes. There is no question about it. If not for challenge, Rekha mentioned, it's not just going through challenges. Whatever the challenge is, monetary, financial, a relationship, job loss, job promotion, I don't know. Challenges come in multiple ways. Whatever the challenge is, you got to embrace it. Okay? Because see, everybody wants to live on the mountain. But the happiness and growth comes only when you are climbing it. Okay, if you cannot enjoy the journey, you will never enjoy the destination. You will be always feeling empty even at the destination. Okay, see, challenges are a gift that forces you to search for a new center of gravity. Okay, don't fight it. Okay, stand in a new way with a new center of gravity. We all adjust. Like, for example, you might have a challenge of getting a IBO commit. You are able to get a launch, but you don't know how to get an IBO commit. And it's a challenge. And that once you hit that roadblock, you go through it, you will find a new way, and you have found a new version of yourself, because now that yesterday's defeats are today's foundation for the victory you have. So guys, see, every dollar which you spend in failure, make sure you recover at least $2 in worth of lessons. And those lessons which are learned on a layer by layer, day by day, that is when an IBO becomes unstoppable. truly unstoppable. You are a one-man army because you have become who you have become. So what's the number one product of Amway? People say vitamins, people say excess and stuff. No, number one product of this business opportunity is leadership. We produce more leaders than the rest of the world out there. So many IPOs are such powerful leaders that it oozes out in different areas of their life. But enough has been said here. Our time is out, but you know what? We are super excited. We are getting first time opportunity to listen to one of the second generation leaders, Mayank and Sejal. Like I said in the beginning, Sejal is from Detroit area, and her and Mayank got married. Such a flourishing business, second generation. When IBO, second generation IBO, mom and dad have already gone double-decker, Crown Ambassador, and second generation IBO has a fight to succeed and move on. It's a different world. That person is wired differently, and we are excited to listen to them. So I would give it back to Katie. Please go ahead, Katie and Nidhi. Katie and Nidhi, go ahead, please. Looks like we are still here. We can talk.
Okay. Wow. Oh my God. That was so cool. That was just absolutely mind blowing. You guys took some, what are you doing? Just give me a second, guys. I don't know what happened. What happened? What are you doing?
I was trying to find right type of people.
Oh, she's searching for some right type. Are you guys trying to find some good people for your business? I hope Ganesh and Rekha's talk gave you a glimpse into it, how to find right people. Where are you trying to find them? Right under the pillow or something?
Maybe.
Under the cushion?
Never know.
Okay, I don't know. Hey, gang, that was just incredible. Thank you, Ganesh and Rekha. Next up, before we go forward, gang, this is the grand finale for at least this session, right? We even still have the evening session, but before the grand finale, how about all of you stand up? Come on, my people. We all stand up. We do some stretching.
Yeah.
Some of you are having
Get ready,
food.
get that blood flowing. Yeah.
Yep, some of you were eating while Ganesh was talking. I was too little bit. I'm sorry. But I was soaking in information. Okay, stand up. Let's stretch a little bit. Let's jump up and down. Say, I'm ready. Oh, you guys didn't notice this. The webinar that you're on, we used a special technology this time.
We can see you.
Yeah, it's called Chat GPT. That's what we used. And we can see you. So get up, get your blood pumping a little bit, because it's a privilege to bring up the next set of leaders. We're going to bring up the guest speakers, but we are so fortunate to bring up our own leaders. We represent Empowerment Global, and it's such a privilege for us to bring up the founders of Empowerment Global, Chetan and Vinita Rastogi.
All right, guys, you all fired up? You ready? By the way, Nidhi, I can say as your upline, if you're looking for strangers in your house, you need to move. But that's not the topic for right now. We are jacked, guys. We are super pumped.
Yes,
Nita,
so
you wanna do
excited.
yours?
Yes, I want to, first of all, thank you, Mayank and Sejal, for accepting our invitation to be with us tonight, this afternoon, and of course, you'll be sharing with us this evening as well. We really appreciate you guys and, taking the time out of your life, your business, your family, just to serve the team. And we are so pumped up to have you here. Sejal and I guess we go some time back, some similarities. She and I, we both started single in the business in Detroit, met our prospective partners through the business. And of course, Mayank, she's always had the same excitement, same commitment, to the business. And you had some good shoes, big shoes to fill in, Mayank, and you did a great job, with your parents being diamonds and, super successful in the business. But really, really proud of you and really humbled to have you here to share with us this afternoon. And is Chetan?
Yeah, guys, I know the whole team is jacked, pumped. They don't know your story yet in detail, but I know their hearts are going to be touched today. We have seen your parents give and serve into us, and we have seen you grow, sometimes from afar, sometimes close by, and we have seen you work through your challenges, and arrive at this point of victory. But you're not done, and you have a lot more to do. And that talk we had the other day, it was just so heartwarming. And I know that these guys who are going to listen to you have absolutely no idea what's going to hit them. So guys, keep your hearts open, minds open. It's going to be awesome. Mayank and Sejal, we are truly honored and privileged to have you speak to this Spartans team of upcoming leaders and diamonds. And we know that you're going to touch them in a big way. So take it away, guys. All yours.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And, it's an honor to be here with you guys. And, of course, we would much rather be in person with you. And I hope our excitement and energy can kind of convey to you through the screen today, because Sejal and I truly are fired up about this business. And we've been fired up about the business for many, many years. And first of all, I just want to say thank you, Spartans team. You guys, you have such special leaders and people that we've watched from, we've learned from over the years. And honestly, it's an honor. It really is an honor to be here and with you guys. And we don't take it lightly. We never take it lightly if we're asked to speak, whether it's even our own stage that we're speaking on or as a guest speaker. And really, if I were to say my goal today, if I had one wish coming out of this meeting, and I know this morning or this afternoon, we're just going to share a little bit of our story, which is really hard to do in about 50 minutes, but we're going to try to condense it and give you everything we can. But the one thing I want and pray that we can accomplish today is that you have a higher belief level that this can work for you, that you can take this business as far as you want. And that's our greatest desire, is that we do that. Because, when you listen to all these amazing speakers, and I'm just going to tell you, for me, a lot of times I'd hear all these people speak, and it's almost like I was comparing my weaknesses to their strengths. And I just want you to know that we are all, at least I'll speak for myself, I am still work in progress, right? Sejal and I do not believe we've arrived. We are still in the hunt, building our business, just like your leaders. And I've gotten to know, Rashmi and Smita lately. And I think Diamond Club, we got a chance to hang out with them a little bit. And then, of course, Chuck and Uma out there in Texas. I know you guys, you're kicking butt, taking names, and just an amazing couple, of course. And Chetan and Vinito just introduced us. I know you guys are in Michigan, and what an amazing couple and business as well. And Raj and Sangeeta, of course, I've known them for many, many years, even before I got in business. And of course, I just saw Ganesh and Rekha, man, you guys nailed it. I just want to tell you what an amazing group of individuals you have leading you, helping you, guiding you. And from just the few conversations that we've had with them, I just want to tell you that I know their hearts are in the right place. I believe their motives are in the right place. And they have one desire, and that is to help the newest person build a bigger, stronger business. And that's what you're hearing all weekend long, right? We don't believe we're the main event of this weekend. Our goal is just to add value to this weekend, And this morning, we're just going to take a couple minutes to share our story with you, kind of be able to connect with some of you, okay? Not everybody may relate to our story. But we have been in business, or I should say, I have been in business now. This February will mark 30 years. I was 18 years old. I was sponsored by my mom and dad, Kanti and Hemi Gala, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them here in a little bit. Of course, proud to be their son, and of course, carry on the legacy of the family business. But we are, I grew up in a household. I've been around the Amway business since I was 12 years old. And of course, I met Sejal building depth. Okay. They always say all good things come from building depth. Okay. And I met her in Michigan, and she fell in love, and that's how things got started. So at least that's my side. And but anyway, so we've been married now. This December, we celebrated 24 years of marriage, and we are blessed with two beautiful boys. Eli is 8 years old, and Archer is 12. And they're just blossoming into some amazing young men, and we couldn't be prouder of them. We just believe that our goal is not just to leave an inheritance for our kids, which is money, but to leave a legacy, which is values. And we just love the fact that we can raise our children in this environment, just like I was raised a lot in this environment as well. But today, I believe that we're more excited about the business than we've ever been. I don't believe this is something we just do passively. This is something we do with a intentionality and focus. And honestly, I can't wait to share with you, because I truly believe the best years of this business are yet to come. And I believe the best people that are going to build this business are yet to be found. So I hope you're fired up about your future and what you can do. But we're going to kind of get things started here. And of course, I'm going to introduce Sejal. She's been with me through thick and thin. And I just have to say, you're going to hear a little bit about our struggles today and challenges that we went through. And by no means do I want you feeling like anything that we went through is bigger than what you may be going through, but our story is our story. And I do believe everybody's got to go through a struggle, but I do believe that you can rise up through those struggles, right? It's you develop your character in the valleys, not the mountain peaks. And, we're going to be pretty transparent with you. We're going to be authentic. That's all we know how to be, right? We don't try to be somebody else. We're comfortable in our own skin, and we're just going to speak from our own experiences. And I hope that you take some value from it. And again, I will say, if you're married and you're listening in, I will tell you, man, one of the greatest blessings is being on one accord with your wife. And Sejal and I have been in one accord together, building our business. And of course, I forgot to mention this, but, we're part of an amazing team ourselves. We're part of the LTD organization. And today we are personally coached and mentored by good friends of ours, Larry and Pam Winters. And so we're proud of our current business and where it's going. But, I will say that's why I get so excited about what this Spartan team is about to do over the next 2 to 5 years. And that's just tear this thing out of the frame. But going back to Sejal, I just want to say that if you're married, I just want you to know that this is one of the greatest things you can do as a married couple. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, it doesn't matter. I do believe that this business for Sejal and I has made us better as partners, as parents, as role models. And I hope you experience what we've had the chance to experience as we built our business and continue to. So I'm going to turn it over to Sejal, and I know she's a stick of dynamite, and she's going to tear it out of the frame. That's right. So take it away, girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What an honor. I just want to say thank you for giving Mike and I an hour of your time. You could have been doing a million things, but here you are attached to your computer screen or iPad screen or whichever device you're using, and you're taking this time for us. And we appreciate that. And you know what? We want to give you our best, and we're very, very thankful for that. It's an honor. And I was telling some of your leaders, I do not know what we did to deserve to sit here in front of you and get to share our story with you, some of our business building thoughts and principles that we apply to our business, and share some of that with you as well. I don't know what we did, because we come from incredible legacy of Mayank's mom and dad, Kanti and Hemigala. It's absolutely amazing to be able to build a business as a family, but at the same time, I feel like, Mike and I, we've had, like he said, 25 plus years of building this business together, and just like everybody else, we had to put on our bootstraps and pick ourselves up and start building the business. We started at 100 PV, just like everybody that is brand new at this conference is starting at. Yep. Okay. If you're within 90 days of the business, this is where you started at. And that's the best thing about this Amway opportunity, is that it starts everybody at the same equal playing field. And to me, talking in front of some of the people that actually are my heroes, like Raj and Sangeeta Shah and Chetan and Vinitha, and even Ganesh. At that time he was single back in Michigan. He was I think going emerald, and I was a brand new 19-year-old girl at that info session, and it was a packed info session. It was hopping. I think the Rostogis might have been even emerald at that point. I can't remember the details. If I'm wrong, you'll correct me, but these were the people that I looked up to. These were the people that were on audios, and I loved listening to them. And here I am sharing this with you guys. But I'm going to jump in full speed because I think getting acclimated is one of the favorite things. And I feel good that we get to share some of our story today, so you get to know us a little bit more here. But as Mike said, we have two boys, Archer and Eli, and life with two boys is busy in our household, and they are spirited boys. And so Archer plays football for his middle school. He's playing running back. He's enjoying it a lot. He's loves studying. Of course, he's an Indian kid. I think that comes with the background, okay, to be honest. And he's also learning some music, and he's enjoying that a little bit as well. Eli loves playing soccer and football. He's good at both of them. Both my boys are dirt bikers, and they love motocrosses. Sorry, my bad. I'm still trying to get the names right. Motocrosses, and they are just daredevils in them. They love it, and we love that too. But my story starts at 15 years of age when I came to US and with my family. And my daddy's the one who started with the business. And I remember coming home from Michigan from college one time, and my mom said, shh, and quiet, there's somebody sitting in the dining area at the dining table with your dad. And I think we would have a business opportunity for us. And the excitement of coming to US and having a business at your hand, and being able to think, wow, we can have something of our own. That is valuable. I was only 17, I think, at that time when my dad started the business, and we were so excited. We could all of a sudden see our American dreams come true for us. Well, for me at that time, I was getting ready to become a doctor. I was in medical school. I didn't want to build a business, but I wanted to support my dad, and I saw him struggling with English was his second language. He wasn't good in English, and I saw him struggling with it. I also saw that, my mom was initially excited to see the business, but soon she fell into what most of the people fall into, and which is what? Listening to the people around you rather than chasing your dreams, your conviction, believing in yourself. And I think that's what the masses do. They follow each other. And my mom, sadly, I love her. She's incredible mom, incredible human being. But at that time, she bought into the fears of her peers, her family, her quote unquote well-wishers, and they still are her well-wishers. And sometimes, you guys, there's people that are close to you, they're around you, they mean great for you, and in their well-wishing way, they might give you advice that doesn't necessarily match up with the future that you're trying to build. And you know what? My daddy, he kept at it. He worked in the car subsidiary factory, and even though it was hard for him to show the plan and speak in English really well, he kept at it. And you know what it did for me? There was a child in the house, and I was watching two examples. One of having what does it do to you when you buy the fears of other people, right? And what does it do to you that when you get out, suit up, and get out there and show the business opportunity to somebody? And I was 17, I was watching this happening in my home. And I realized that, I really commend my dad for not giving up. And I jumped in and I said, Daddy, you're having a hard time speaking in English really fluently. I had English medium education. So I started hanging out with him. I started showing up at the info session, even though I was not an IBO yet. And I started showing the plan for him and doing some product marketing as well for him, because it was easier if I came on board. But one fine day I came to a conference. Okay, like this one. It was at that time in person. And my dad's sponsor in the business said, what are you doing hanging around with your dad? He's been a year and a half. Why don't you start your own business? And I said, oh, no. I am on fast track to becoming a doctor. I graduated within 3 years. Out in my fourth year, I was already in a combined master's program, and I was getting ready to apply to med school. And she said, well, jump in. You're already halfway there. And so I did. And in my first month, I sponsored 10 IBOs, and won 1,000 PB. And that's how I started with the business. At that time, a lot of kids at my school, my friends, my peers made fun of me. They said, you're trying to grow up too fast. They said, what are you going to do if your Amway business doesn't succeed? You're going to sell fries with it or what? What are you going to do? And my attitude was, well, then I'm just going to have to be the best at it. I think a lot of life is about what you do, how you see life. Okay. If you see life with other people's eyes, you're going to live their life, not yours. And I saw my life through my eyes, and I didn't see any objections. A lot of people said, oh, there's a lot of married couples building the business. There's rarely any single people. At that time, we're talking 25 years ago, it wasn't cool for, an 18 and a 19-year-old to quit school and start a business. That's the norm today. It wasn't then. And, but I didn't care. They told me, well, how are you going to build a business being single lady building the business? And I didn't see a problem with it. I said, well, I think I can sponsor couples, but if there's not going to be any other couples that will sponsor because I'm a single lady, then I'll build a lady, army of single ladies and go platinum. I just felt that, how do you see life? I think that matters a lot. And I think a lot of people, when they start the business, Mike, don't you agree? They see the business as a hobby rather than a business. And so Mike and I, he was 18 when he started. I was 19 when I started the business. We didn't see this business as a hobby. We saw this business as what it could be, as our lifelong Korean pursuit. We saw this business not at a hobby level, but an empire level, if that made sense. I think, how big of a chunk of your dream do you want? Do you want small bits of the dreams that you have, little pieces of it? Do you just want a lion's share of your dreams to be met? What do you want? I think at the end of the day, Mike and I were the two young kids who kind of had a notion of what we wanted. We were not afraid of it. We were shaky. We didn't have life experiences. We were young kids. We didn't have degrees because he was a Sunglass Hut employee. I was in college. I was working 2 jobs to sustain myself through college. But we had a notion of what life could be. But here's the thing. This notion got expanded and elaborated when we met the team, right? And that made the biggest difference of us, because all of a sudden this idea we could do more started to transpire into what could be. The leaders that you heard from, your leaders that you heard from, the success stories, your executive team that you're talking about, this cruise that you're talking about, these are the examples of the businesses that is possible to you if you apply yourself, right? The success that is possible to you if you apply yourself. And so Mike and I found ourselves sitting in the audience listening to it, and all of a sudden our vision went from, yes, the possibility of this to this, And then here's the second thing we did. We bought into it. We didn't come up with yeah buts, we didn't come up with what if it doesn't work. We said, what if it does work, right? Ganesh was just talking about the chances, the probabilities. What if it does work for you? And so I'm so glad that we bought into it. We believed our leaders. We didn't fight it. We didn't come back with, but what about this? We figured when we meet that challenge, we have mentors and coaches in our business that would help us with that. And that's what they were there for. They were there to show us with their success what is possible, and then help us along the way. And so we just said, well, this is the best deal. Let's just go ahead and get started with our business and put everything that we have in it. So that's how we started. Mike is going to share more about that progress and the progression of the story, but I want to kind of fast forward. We build a business 7 nights a week, and we're not afraid to tell you that. You know why? Because anything worth pursuing requires complete dedication to it. You can't go into something half-hearted and want to have incredible results with it. That's just fooling yourself. Okay, this is not a pie in the sky business. This requires real work, real effort, real self-discipline, work ethic, commitment, just like anything else, if you want to succeed at it, requires, whether it's in medical school, whether you want to become a doctor, whether you want to own another company, whatever you want to do, it requires hard work and dedication. This business did too. So we figured if we're going to give it our all, why compromise? Let's go all the way, and we did. And so we built our business to a platinum level. And of course, Ruby and Diamond, when I met him, he was already a Q12. And then we built the business to Ruby and Emerald level. That took us from our marriage to Emerald, took us about, a few years, I think. And then within that time, in that timeline, we were Emerald. We worked hard. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom when possible. That was my choice. And it was time to have a family. And this is where the story becomes a little bit hard. And you know why? Because I seriously thought that my challenges of the naysayers, the doubters, my peers, the home atmosphere, all of those was really hard to deal with, financial struggle. He was a Sunglass employee. I was full-time in the business when I married him and started. We didn't have much money. We were on a very, very strict budget, often wearing secondhand clothes and stuff like that to build our business. And I'm so glad because, see, Mike's parents were already doing really well with the business. But one of the lessons they taught us is that, you have to learn how to stand on your own feet. Yeah. They were our encouragers, supporters, builders, but they also taught us how to stand up on our own, get bruised, fall down, get back up and move forward again. And I'm so glad that in our moments of struggle, they didn't jump in both feet and just rescue us out of it. That builds strength in us. But see, we saw them struggle and we saw the strength that they carried. And that was another example as well. Well, in this particular part of our life, we decided that it was time for family, something that we've been waiting for. And we had our little boy, Ishan, at that time. And life was great. We were Founders Emeralds, I think, right? I think we were Founders Emeralds. And our little boy was sweet. And becoming a mother for the first time, and if you have children, you know what I mean. And those that aspire to have some, you know what I mean. That is a privilege for both Mike and I. That changed us, having that little baby boy. And one fine day, he started to show low-grade fever. And after weeks of going back and forth to the doctors, we got the word back that he had a very rare cancer called neuroblastoma. At that time, he was only 14 months old. And my precious baby boy, he went from giggling and laughing around in the house. And Mike and Sejal, our precious little dream, I was 29, he was 31. And 8 years, we gave everything to our business because we needed to secure our business. We needed to have a stable business, stable life before we really wanted to start family. We had some time because we married at 22 and 24. So we gave everything to our business. And 8 years after that, when you have your first boy, you have all your dreams attached to the family life that you want. And, it kind of our world turned upside down. Nobody thinks in their right mind that your child will go through something like this. It's not natural to any parents to have to go through that. And I think that was the most trying time, by far the biggest struggle that Mike and I had to go through. And I think in times like this, no matter what happens at that time, nothing matters. Money doesn't matter. Prestige doesn't matter. Status doesn't matter. All that matters is how do you get your child to get better, to get healed. And so Mike and I, of course, because of the protocol, we left everything and we moved to New York City at Memorial Sloan Kettering for his treatment. And we lived at a small Ronald McDonald room for 9 months. And that boy took chemo after chemo, very aggressive. It was rare. It was a very rare cancer.
Aggressive.
There was only 7% chance of survival. But, that's another thing. Talk about probabilities. Who in their right mind says there's only 7% chance of survival, so we're not going to do much about it? You want to put everything in the fight. Well, that applies to all areas of your life. not just fight for life, but fight for everything that you truly believe in. And for us at that time, that was our son. And after a lot, seeing him getting depleted month after month after month and dying slowly, the doctor said there's not much that could be done after 8 chemos. And so we brought him home, and he lived for another couple days at home. He walked around the house. He asked Daddy to show, pointing to different rooms. He was ready to go home. And when it was his final hours, we carried him in our arms and we told him it was okay to go home, to be in heaven. And he left. And that was hard. And until then, I thought I had met the hardest time in my life. But see, that time tested Mike and I both. That was the time, you know, where I didn't realize the testing that Mike and I had to face, right? It was the darkest, most grief-filled, burden-filled time of our life. You know, for me personally, it tested everything. It tested my faith. It tested my calling. It tested my fervor and the passion with which I look at life and approach life. It tested my friendships. It tested my marriage. It changed us as people. It changed my makeup of who I was. It changed my grit. It changed my strength, changed our vision. It questioned our vision. I never thought that the loss of one person could take away so much from me. And I could speak for myself. And in that time, Mike and I hung on to each other. But here's what we hung on to. We also hung on to our dream. And I had heard somewhere that in the greatest time of your distress in the life, you revert back to what you have practiced. And you know what, guys? We reverted back to what we had practiced. Little did we know that when we started the Amway opportunity and we were with people that with our team, that we were going to learn principles that were going to serve us well in the lowest point of our life. And because of this business, you know, and learning to build something from bootstraps on up, we knew what it meant to get started back up again and get up again and move forward. Because of the mentorship, we knew what faith and calling was. And we said we're going to hang our hat on that. Because of learning to serve others like your leaders are serving you, we knew what friendships meant. And our friendships and relationships in this business showed up for us. The entire LTD team showed up for us. You know, my team, the team that Mike and I built, showed up for us as foundations, as walls, you know, saying we're going to hold you up in this time, right? Because of great examples around us, long-lasting marriages, we knew what good marriage meant and how not to throw in the towel and let that affect our marriage. You know, because of listening to audios and reading books, and, you know, we knew what grit was, listening to the success stories and Rally Emerald success stories of people. We knew what strength and perseverance was. So, you know what we did? We reverted back to all of it. We reverted back to which we had practiced. You know what didn't come handy at that time? Our status. You know what didn't come handy at that time? Our prestige. You know what came into our time? What we actually put in, what we actually developed. And I'm so glad. See, we have no control of how the story was going to unfold, but we did have a control of how the story was going to be told. And the one thing that was going to be told about Mike and Sejal was that they didn't give up. They didn't let one event of their life define who they were. We realized that our son is gone, but we're here still on this earth. There's more to our life. There's more things to be done. There's more purpose to be served. And that one thing can take us out. You know, we know that there's a lot more to our story. Till our dying day, we can't wait to see what our story is going to be unfold. Here's what I want to ask you. How's your story going to be unfold? What is going to be said about your story? There's going to be hardships in life, but what are you going to do about that? You know, you have the best business at hand. You're part of the best team. All right. What you have to bring to the table is you. Don't shelf yourself. Bring yourself to the table. give it all you have, and go get your future because you're deserving of it. You're worthy of it.
Yeah.
But here's my husband, the man I admire and respect so much. He's a very humble guy. He doesn't let on the kind of leader that he is. But you know what? I'm proud to be running this race with him, this journey with him. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Well, that was amazing. It's not always easy. Maybe you've got a tissue box out yourself, and but the victory is it's great. I do believe what sometimes, in my belief, what the enemy does to try to steal your joy and your life, that God will raise you up. And that's just our belief. And I remember that morning, Larry, the night we lost Ishan, the next day I got a call from Larry, and he said, you're probably mad at the world, but I do believe doors will open for you, and God's going to show you what's possible. And sometimes it's in those times that you have to lean on the ultimate rock, right? And that is your own faith and your own belief. And boy, are we blessed today though, with 2 boys, and more joy that it's like we've got a fervor for life like never before. Every day's a gift, every day's a promise, every day's a opportunity to go out there and serve your fellow man. And one of the things I'll tell you is when you're going through challenges in your life, people say, man, how do you get through stuff like that? Well, I believe this: if you just go out there and serve other people, it's one of the most healing things you can do, right? It's one of the most healing things you can do is go out there and just refresh others and serve others. And to me, this business, she's right, this is all we knew. Now, was there a point in our life where we lost our dream? I remember telling her, I'm going to be honest with you. I remember telling her, I don't know if I have what it takes to go diamond anymore. I don't know if I've got the dream left in me. I don't know if I can lead people anymore. There was a hole in my heart that was bigger than you can imagine. But you know what? I believe if you have a good, strong faith, okay, he'll fill every desire of your heart. And, that's our story, right? And, of course, I'm going to go back a little bit, rewind a little bit, and I've only got about 19 minutes left with you. I'm kind of watching the clock. I'm very sensitive to staying on time, but I do want to take you through our journey a little bit, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently because there are so many lessons we learned along the way. But I also want to share with you how we found some of our platinum legs. I think sometimes people forget that a lot of your success in this business, it doesn't happen perfectly, right? It's just doing the 9 course. One thing I tell people all the time on my team, just go do the 9 course steps consistently and persistently with a good attitude, right? Just do the 9 course steps persistently and consistently with a good attitude. And that's really been our story, is we've learned how to put one foot in front of the other. My teenage years were a little crazy. A lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. I was a skateboarder. I rode amateur for a company out of California. And of course, the skateboarding culture came with its own set of, let's just say its own culture, okay, back then, which was an extension of the surfing culture. And, I got around the wrong association, and I'm going to say this, it's all because I was looking for my identity in all the wrong places. And I believe if you're sitting in here and, maybe you've made some mistakes in your life, a lot of times it's because you just want to seek the approval of people instead of saying, man, what do I believe? And what am I standing on? Right? What is my identity? What do I see for myself? And, this business taught me that, and honestly, being around, watching my parents build this thing with everything they got. I've watched them sacrifice. I've watched them, of course, the amount of trips they take to India, the amount of miles I saw them drive here. Matter of fact, yes, because it's a family business, I guess technically it's okay for me to say that we're part of your upline, but really we view this as just a organization that's part of our legacy business. This is a team that my mom and dad started when I was 12 years old, and I watched them leave every weekend to go to New Jersey and take my little 15-month-old sister and many times me, and they go up there and they'd serve, and they'd go to Canada and they'd serve, and they go to Detroit and they serve. And I'm going to say this to you, if you're a parent, the greatest way you neglect your kids is not pursuing your dreams. Okay. A lot of you think, well, I don't know if I'm really ready to commit at that level. Well, I'm going to tell you this, your kids are watching everything you do. Mm-hmm. And even to this day, I love my kids seeing us roll our sleeves up and go to work and go help other people. But, that's where I got my hunger for building this business, is watching them. And, when I saw the plan, 1993, it was really it was very accidental. And the reason I say that is I was supposed to be home watching my sister, babysitting her, right? I hated babysitting her. It just drove me crazy. And, but my dad and mom said, hey, if you don't want a babysitter, why don't you just come to the meeting with us tonight? And I'm like, all right, that's a better deal than sitting at home watching my sister. Okay. And so I went to the meeting completely thinking I was going to sit in the back of the room, not pay attention to a thing. But that night, a man named Ren Morris came to Charlottesville, Virginia. Ren and Donna Morris, who were part of our upline at the time, they came to Charlottesville. They showed the plan. And that night, those circles went, I couldn't stop thinking about the business. And maybe that's you on here. It's like, man, you remember when you saw the plan and you're just like, oh my gosh, I remember the night I saw the plan and I'm like, I have found my vehicle. And that was me. I feel like I've been Mr. Amway since I got in business that night. And literally, it's funny how we have a process that we teach. And of course, there's a way to share your story. I get all that. But you know what I realized is that strategy and obviously, mechanics and framework are good, but enthusiasm is the fuel to results, right? You can have all the technique in the world, the processes in the world, but if you don't have an enthusiasm, a fire for your business, nothing happens. And I remember the next day after seeing the plan, I worked at Sunglass Hut. I worked in a kiosk in the mall. I am not your typical Indian who went to college, okay, has 900 degrees and is smarter than Einstein, okay? I think the reason I was invited, maybe not Sajal, but the reason I was invited was because they said, man, this guy could build belief, okay? Because I was high school educated. I went right into this business. But that next morning, I stood at that Sunglass Hut and I showed the plan to my boss. I didn't know what I was showing her. I drew 2 circles on a piece of paper. I said, this is you, this is me. I know there's some products involved. And hey, what do you think? Well, we can be rich together. I didn't know what I was saying. She said, sounds good, sign me up. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't even know how to get signed up yet. So let me go find out how that works. And then I'll help you get signed up. And in my first few weeks in business, I sponsored 6 legs. I went 2,500 PV my 3rd month in business. And I'll say this. One thing I did really well coming into this business is I saw the value of the system. Okay, I saw the value of the system. And I developed this mentality from the age of 18. And I want you to write this down, associate at all costs. Yeah. I would go anywhere, okay, to seek, whether it was my upline, a diamond that was kicking butt, an emerald that was kicking butt. I would go anywhere I could to go find people who are winning in this business. Okay. And that was kind of, I don't know. I did a lot of things right because I was an introvert by nature. I did not know how to talk to people. Let's just say I couldn't have led you in silent prayer. You hear what I'm saying? Okay. I had a very low self-image coming into this business. But that association, man, I couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't get enough of it, of being part of a team going somewhere. And, of course, I went platinum single, as Sajal mentioned. We met in, it was 98, I believe, 97, 98. I was just in Michigan. I was working in, I had a guy that had names and numbers of people in Detroit and different areas. I'm like, let's go up there. And that's how we met. We got married. And I'm not going to kind of go through all that. But, man, it was honestly working together, our first year was, I'm going to be honest, there was high volume, low PV discussions. Okay. And we had to learn how to operate and work together. We're both very, let's just say strong personalities and, she has blossomed into an amazing woman. And it's just been fun. What we've been able to do together for 26 plus years, and we started our marriage in living at my mom and dad's house. Okay. I'll be honest, even though I was a platinum, I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. And you're like, well, weren't your parents fairly successful? Yes. But here's something I want to tell you. I wanted to earn my respect. Okay. We didn't go to any trip and I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but I did not go to a diamond club. I didn't go to Peter Island. I didn't go to any of those places until we had 6 legs over 7,500 PV. We in North America. Okay. We did not want to take a handout. Okay. My parents were tremendously, they were very successful, but I did not want to take a handout. And listen to me, they allowed me to develop hunger. Yeah. And I appreciate that because, I think a lot of kids and with my 2 boys, Archer and Eli, that is one of my greatest prayers is, man, Lord, put some hunger in these kids. Because yes, they get a lot, they've experienced a lot, and we went diamond and double because we wanted our children to experience great things. but man, I'm so thankful that my mom and dad allowed me and Sejal to pay the full price. And when we left that house, we bought ourselves a little townhome. Okay, that was our humble beginnings. We stayed with my mom and dad for a couple of years, and we bought a townhouse for $100,000. We found our entire diamond ship basically out of that townhouse. Yeah. We moved into that townhouse. We didn't even need a U-Haul, a moving company. No, we were able to fit pretty much everything in that little we put everything we owned that was in one bedroom of their house, which we didn't even own it, to be honest with you. It was furniture I think they gave us. Matter of fact, I think they even bought us our first sofa and love seat and all that stuff in our new home. Okay. But Sage and I, we literally had an air mattress, that had a hole in it. Okay. What a great way to start your marriage. Okay. You start on a mattress, and by the morning you're on a floor. Okay. But we fit everything we own into that Honda Accord. But you know what else we put in that Honda Accord? A big dream. Yeah. We put a big dream. We put a big cause and purpose. We put we're going to win no matter what mentality. Okay. We put all that in the car with us as well. See, that's the stuff nobody may know about you yet. And see, most people view you for what you have, what your house looks like, what your cars look like. And tell you, your worth does not come from a car you drive. Your worth does not come from the home you live in. Your worth comes from your creator and who made you, but your worth comes from your goals, dreams, ambitions, and what you're going to do with your life. And that went with us to that little townhome. Okay. And basically in that townhome, we went Ruby. We built our business with everything your leaders teach. And this is a fundamental philosophy we believe, and that is structure yields results, right? Your team has a protocol on structure, how to build your business. And so did Sage and I, right? And so we broke a downline Ruby, and we went Ruby outside of that. We were running about 20,000 PV outside of a Ruby leg. And man, our business was cooking. Okay. We were heads down, kicking butt, taking names. That was the first year, I believe, we made 6 figures in the business. And, we were double eagle, I guess, at that time. And, we just built our business with just we understood proper width that would yield proper depth. And eventually that would lead to taproot and leaders and mass, right? The 3 big things, the 5 components that I believe it takes to build a really strong structured business. And so now let me kind of take you through, so we go Ruby, we broke our first leg. Okay. And we were Ruby in 2001. We qualified Emerald in 2003. And basically, what's cool is where we found our legs, it's very unique. My first leg was my district manager, who made fun of me, by the way. So if you have somebody that makes fun of you, he'd say, man, why are you messing around with that Amway business of yours? You could just be, I could help you climb the corporate ladder here and whatnot. And I said, yeah, Rich, that's great. But man, I'll give you my best, but leave me alone with what I do in my spare time. My dream's not for sale. Okay. My dream's not for sale. And I remember we were going to another store, and he was in the car with me. And I said, hey, do you mind if I play a little cassette tape? And I played a tape. Some of you would know the name. It was it was called Take No Prisoners. And I played this little cassette tape, and Rich looked over at me, says, that guy is in your business, is in this business? And yeah. I said, man, if you help me become successful, can I talk to people like that? I said, sure. And what's crazy is he got in business with me. And about 25 months later, he went platinum, he went Ruby. In his organization, there are hundreds of people now. Countless platinums, sapphires. We're getting ready to break 2 emeralds in there this year. And it's kicking butt, taking names. Okay. And so, here's what I'm saying to you. You can't always predict script things, but you can predict your growth, in my opinion, if you're willing to do the 9 core steps with a good attitude over and over again. Our second leg, a buddy of mine named Kelly Mason. Okay. I hate to tell you this, but Kelly Mason used to buy me alcohol when I was underage. Okay. And yes, I'm losing credibility here. Okay. But we all need to build a network at some point in our lives. Okay. And networking is important. And so Kelly used to work at the athletic store right in front of my sunglass hut. And I literally, back then our process was a little bit different. You know, we didn't really have a vetting process and a proper way of really taking people through, educating them. And so I remember I would just invite him to the meeting every week, and he kept no-showing me, right? Just kept not showing up. And one week he comes into the mall and he broke his leg. And I said, dude, what'd you do to yourself? He said, well, I broke my leg skiing. I said, serves you right. You should have been at the meeting with me. Then you wouldn't have broken your leg, right? I just wanted to get under his skin a little bit. Who knew that statement would click in his mind and say, you know what, you're right. When's the next meeting? He comes to the next meeting. Well, long story short, he ended up going platinum in my business. He led me to a lady named Anita Smith, who put 40 IBOs in her business in 90 days. And basically she went Q12 platinum and above. She broke multiple platinums in her downline. And that's how we found our second leg. Our third leg, okay, so this is all between, happening between 2001, 2003 from Ruby to Emerald. Okay. And our third leg, okay, how many of y'all have heard this statement before? I don't know what book it's in, but through every adversity, there's a seed of an equal or greater benefit, right? Well, our third leg, we found we were going to Richmond, Virginia to sit down with a couple that was excited about the business. Sage and I were in the car, fired up about our future. And the couple ended up not being able to meet us. Okay. So we're sitting there at the Starbucks. We got to drive back home. Okay. So we had a choice to make. Okay. Were we going to go home, or were we going to find the equal or greater benefit? And so I remember right before we turned on to the highway to go back to our hometown, I saw a Best Buy, right? Every Indian person's favorite place to go, right? Best Buy. And so I go to the Best Buy, and basically I see a couple in line. The lady it looked like she was pregnant. Thank God she was. That was my icebreaker with her was, hey, are you pregnant? Probably may not want to use that all the time, because if they're not, that would be a bad icebreaker. But the point is, we got in line, and she was pregnant. So when are you due? That was my icebreaker. And we got into a conversation. Long story short, I called him a few days later. 21 months later, they went platinum on my team. Okay. And they led me to a guy. Okay. His name's Travis May. Okay, who now is actually going to be part of my 7th platinum leg in North America, which is crazy, right? Anyway, that's a story in itself. So again, why do I share all this with you? Because I believe if you follow what your upline teaches, and you do those 9 core steps persistently and consistently with a good attitude, don't forget that part, with a good attitude, you will start to see things shape up in your business like we did. Okay. So, again, obviously, you heard Sage will talk a little bit about it. And, we were qualified founders emeralds in 2003, 2004. Honestly, we were running about 15,000 PV outside of our emerald ship. We were ready. Again, structure yields results. Okay. Larry Winters taught me, he said, Mike, if you have the right width, okay, width provides you opportunities, and width is also an audience. It's an audience of people that are watching you go win. And you will find you will always have 3 good growing legs if you have enough of an audience watching. And so we had about 15,000 PV outside of our emerald ship. We were ready to make our diamond run. I believe it was 04, 05. Ishan was born. And of course, for us, our life took a turn, right? That was a very, very difficult time in our lives. I remember, and I'm not going to rehash everything she just said, but I do believe that we're able to use that testimony to make a difference today. We do have a foundation today that has a national outreach that we're able to support families in need. And, I do firmly believe that the struggle in your life should never be the last chapter of your life. Yeah. I believe there's chapters you need to be writing about your life that you're going to impact other people with your story and your struggles. And we need you to win for that exact reason. Okay. But what happened through that struggle for me was I realized just how important it was to have the right people around us. We had some great friends who were there. Our family, of course, was there for us. But even diamonds in the LTD system, like Toby and Mia Ayers, they had just qualified diamond, and they chose to come. And the day right after diamond, they said, hey man, we don't leave a wounded soldier behind. And they were there to support Sejal and I and be there with us and serve our team when we were hurting. And, I'm going to tell you this, your leaders won't leave you behind either. I pray that you don't let go of the rope. Because I believe you don't let go of the rope, Ganesh won't let go of the rope. Okay. Chuck won't let go of the rope. Raj won't let go of the rope. Rashmi won't let go of the rope, right? Because these guys, you know, they are not just in this business for their own glory and their own success. They're in business because they want to see you win. The newest person on here, you know, that's, if you were to say, Mayak, who did you really come speak to today? For me, it's the newest person on here. Okay. And anyway, so I'm going to kind of move on in our story. And, you know, from that point, you know, we decided, you know, to join partnership with my mom and dad, right? Yes, we were ready to go diamond on our own, but obviously, you know, my mom and dad were also focusing heavily in the India business, and they've done amazing things over there. And so we chose to take our business and develop a legacy business with theirs. And continue to kind of grow the North American business. That's really kind of our role and what we chose to take on. And honestly, you know, we came in humble and excited. We even though we had the chance to go to many diamond clubs, we chose not to. And the reason we chose not to is because we wanted to earn the respect of the people that we respected, right? And from there, we wanted to break more North American legs, right? More businesses. And so we found a young kid named Corey Klein. We had a group of IBOs down in Florida. And I remember going down there and handing my business card to all these guys. And this young kid who was 19 years old said, hey, man, pick me. Okay, pick me. And today, this kid's got hundreds of people now in the West Palm Beach area. That became our fourth leg for our U.S. diamond ship. And then, of course, I met there was a meeting that I was invited to by a guy named Wayne Martin many, many years ago. Mm-hmm. How crazy is this, right? Y'all know Wayne Martin in Dallas, Texas. He was a legend in this thing. He did an audio called Diamond State of Mind, and it changed me. And Wayne used to come to Charlottesville. He was friends with my mom and dad. And, one day when I went platinum, Wayne asked me to come show the plan in Texas. I was 22 years old and, you know, kind of this young hotshot platinum in the system at the time. And so I came to show the plan. And my dad had invited one of his friends, I think his name was Sanjay, and Sanjay brought his son there. And long story short, I found through depth, they're not around anymore, but through that leg, I found a couple named Yanni and Miriam Yashadareja. And Yanni and Miriam chose to partner with us. They basically had a very small business at the time, and they chose to partner with us. And now they've been, founders qualified platinum. They broke their first leg. They're about to break their second and third leg. And they're going emerald here in the next 12 to 18 months as well. And so crazy, right? Just go out there with faith. Just go out there, do those 9 core steps consistently and persistently with a good attitude. And I'm telling you, good things will happen for you. Okay. And then our next leg, our 6th platinum leg, Jobin Abraham. Okay. Jobin, check this out. This is just a blessing. Jobin was researching who he could be sponsored by. He called me. He Google searched me. Okay. He called me and said, hey, I like what you're doing. Will you sponsor me? And I thought it was a little strange. He lived in Dallas, Texas. And I said, sure, why not? Okay. Well, Jobin gets in business with me. He's now qualified in Founders Platinum. He has a downline platinum. That became our 6th leg. And so what I'm saying to you guys, again, is you're looking for perfection instead of progress. See, I believe if you just pursue with progress, okay, because that's all Sage and I do. We don't believe we're perfect IBOs. We're progressive IBOs. We are constantly working on ourselves. We're constantly learning better ways for us to be better leaders. Okay. To me, leadership's example. It's not entitlement. We don't sit behind a diamond pin or a double diamond pin. Matter of fact, I don't address my team as a diamond. I address my team as a Gala 10K team. That's for us. And you know why? Because pins are the past. Your future is your example. And that's how Sage and I operate. Okay. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but we never sit on our pin. We don't sit on our past successes. We want current credibility in developing our business. Right. And so I believe your leaders, that the Spartan team leaders, your executive group, your OGO, your organization of people, I'm telling you, just from the few times I've gotten a chance to be around them, here's what I believe. They are building something here that is radical it's transparent, and they're leading with their example and not their pen. They're leading with their example, not their pen. And that's why I'm proud to be here to share with this team. So I apologize for going a little bit over, but it's been a pleasure to be with you guys. And we could go all day, to be honest with you. I love doing this. But man, that's just a little piece of who we are. And we don't share any of this to boast or say how wonderful we are. Okay, honestly, remember what I said in the very beginning. I want one thing. If you get one thing, if you paid me a compliment, the greatest compliment anybody can pay me is that, hey, my belief level in me went up just a little bit. See, I always knew Amway would work. Amway's a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay. I knew that the training system had produced a lot of successful people. The system worked. You know what I had to work on? Belief in me. Belief in me. And to be honest with you, that's why we do what we do. That's what these functions are for. You know, it's not what you learn from these weekends. It's the feeling that you leave with. And see, that first weekend that I ever went to, the feeling, I don't remember a thing that was said, to be honest with you. But you know what I do remember? How I felt. I remember how I felt leaving that first weekend. And I pray this weekend, after you were at your Friday meetings, your Saturday event, you know, the different things you have access to this weekend, I hope and pray that you leave here with a feeling saying, you know what, this is a team I want to be a part of. And this is something I can do. And if we've accomplished that, and even in a little small way, we've done our part. So God bless you guys. Great to be with you. And we'll see you tonight. Hey.
That was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. That was super impactful, and we just really appreciate you sharing your hearts. Couple big takeaways. The greatest way you can let your kids down is by not building your dream. We don't have kids yet, but that's going to be very impactful for us. Your worth comes from your dreams and goals, or your dreams for sale.
Yeah, and not letting your circumstances in life define who you are. You define what you're going to stand for through your circumstances. So I know, having experienced loss myself, I really personally resonated with that testimony. And I don't know if it's truly possible to appreciate the value of this community until you go through challenges, and it forces you to just reevaluate. And what we have here is very, very special. And we talk about building assets. The community is the greatest asset we have. And I want to read something real quick, because I literally just read this morning in this book that I'm reading. And obviously, you know, to Mike and Sejal, their faith is very important to them. So take this, you know, in perspective, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, but I think it's very relevant. It says, people who survive catastrophic loss often say that they survive by coming to see in time that they somehow had to take the loss into themselves and allow it to enlarge their heart, so that their capacity to live well and to enjoy simple things and to know God intimately increased in a way they never thought possible. It's as if God somehow stretches a person to the breaking point, and then they discover that because they've been stretched, there's now room in their heart and mind for God, for life, for others that was not there before. Right. So challenges, suffering is, and Ganesh talked about it too, it enlarges your heart, your capacity to love and serve other people, and to not run from it. So we can't wait to hear from them tonight. So just a taste. I know there's more to come in the next session. We're going to have a break here until 5:20 p.m. Central Time, 6:20 Eastern. The countdown is going to begin, 10-minute countdown, and we'll kick things off here at 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And so we'll see you guys real soon.